Right, are we good? Are we live? I think we are. Hello all and welcome back to the Football Chat Live. Today, it's the Premier League final day. Today we'll decide who wins the 23-24 Premier League title. Will it be Manchester City for a record fourth consecutive season, or will Arsenal claim the title at the death? Will they snatch it in the last game week? We're going to find out today over the next 2 hours. I'm very excited for it. Harry, how could you not be excited for today?
I mean, I can't wait. Premier League final day, it's a sad day, but it's also a very, very exciting day. A lot to be decided, but, I mean, all focus on the title fight. This is going to be an incredible 90 minutes coming up. We know what Arsenal need to do. We know what City need to do. Are City the favourites? 100%, but never say never in football. Anything can happen, especially on the final day. We've seen so much drama, so many different permutations come out on the final day. Could we see that today with Arsenal hosting Everton, City hosting West Ham? Still to play for in my eyes.
Yeah, definitely. So, onto the stream, Knick-Knack as well. Loving the thumbnail. Thank you, Knick-Knack. Appreciate when someone notices the thumbnails. Also saying, been looking forward to the final day weekend, even though we all know what will happen. It does feel there's an air of inevitability given City's position, given how dominant they are, and given the fact I don't think West Ham offer much of a challenge. I think West Ham have been all right at times this season, but overwhelmingly they haven't played particularly well. Ian Breads as well, what I'm just saying, as a Man United fan, us Reds must stick together today. Well, that must be a weird position to be in if you're supporting United, Ian Breads, or if you are a United supporter, because obviously there is a rivalry there with both sides. It's not ideal either way, but yeah, I think that's very much the camp most people are in, because a lot of, unless you're an Arsenal fan, of course, or a Manchester City fan, I think a lot of people are bored of seeing City win the league, but also don't like Arsenal.
Yeah.
And City, despite being this icon of money and wealth, and therefore that being something that people don't like, Arsenal haven't won it in so long and everyone loves bantering them. So it's that weird juxtaposition where, yes, we don't want to see Man City win the league because of everything they stand for, but equally, we don't want to see Arsenal win the league because we don't like them. So I think it is a weird situation. Ian Breads asked Knick-Knack who he's rooting for. Knick-Knack wants to see Arsenal win the league. As a Chelsea fan, I can never cheer for Arsenal. And the thing with City is I just don't care.
Yeah.
If they win the league, City won the league. You can always make the excuse of the fact they spent all the money and that they're cheating. So I don't care if City win the league. I do care if Arsenal win the league. Of course, I'm not going to sit here and be bitter on stream. Arsenal have been phenomenal this season. I think it's worth discussing both sides. But we'll start with Arsenal because 2 years in a row now they've managed to take the fight to Manchester City. It's very impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, it is very impressive, and this season more impressive the fact they have hung in there for so long. They have taken us all the way to the final day. Last season, they showed that they weren't ready to win the title yet. They fell away in the last few game weeks, but this season, they have pushed City all the way. They have challenged City for 37 game weeks. Now they need to do it for one more, and they can try and get their hands on the trophy today. But as you say, they've had a phenomenal season. Some players have been absolutely key for them. They've had a brilliant year. They've cut out the sloppy errors and the sloppy, mistakes, and they're done really, really well. And if they do get their hands on the trophy today, then they thoroughly deserve it.
Yeah, I'd argue the same. I think Arsenal have played what?
The fact that the focus is on Man City and Klopp's final game.
Well, because Sky don't have rights to Arsenal, so they're going to go to Anfield as well. But yeah, and as Andrew said, it's Klopp's final game. It's a big day. Equally, nobody cares about Liverpool anymore. They've bottled the Premier League title. The focus today is really on that title race. Of course, there are still other things going on as well, and I'm sure we'll talk about those at some point during today's stream. But yeah, let's talk. Yeah, as we said about Arsenal, they've done really well this season. Man City, they are the unflappable presence at the top of the Premier League, a side who just can't seem to lose. I think a lot of people will blame it on the FFP charge and the money and all that, but it's one thing having money, it's another thing knowing how to spend it. And I think credit has to go to the people at City who have implemented the systems and integrated this culture of winning and a belief that they can win every single match. And clearly, I think a lot of that relies on Pep Guardiola. I think you can have a load of money, but unless you put the right people in the right positions, you're never going to be able to make advantage of that. And I think a lot of people say, City would never win the league City wouldn't have the dominance if they didn't have the money. I would argue City wouldn't have the dominance if they didn't have Pep.
Yeah, 100%.
I think with other managers, you don't have that same level of dominance. Yeah, I think they still would have won titles. Yeah, I still think they still would have been in the conversation every year. But I think the reason City are as good as they are is because of Pep Guardiola, is because of his complete obsessive nature. It's the reason they win games, because he will know everything about the opposition, down to the finer details. He will obsess over his tactics, so he knows exactly what he expects from every single player in every single moment of the game. There's a reason they control games in the way that they do. It's because of Pep Guardiola. So I think a lot of people can rightfully say the City have spent loads of money, so you can discredit their achievements somewhat. However, I would argue a lot of it's actually Pep Guardiola and his ability to build a squad and cultivate an atmosphere in a team where they all trust in each other and they all trust in him, and they're all working towards that common goal.
Yeah.
Ian Breads and Nick Knack talking about Manchester United then. United playing for 7th place, says Nick Knack. Ian Breads says, yep, sadly. I think they're very fortunate to be in 7th to us. And I know you, Ian Breads, you might disagree with me here, but personally, I think United are one of the worst teams in the Premier League this season. And I don't say that without merit, because expected performance has them 16th. That is ridiculous. I think Ten Hag tactically is not good enough, evidently, or at least hasn't figured out what he wants to do with this team, because they rely way too much on individual quality. We see players like Bruno Fernandes having to pop up with goals, and they rely way too heavily on that to get them through games. Tactically, they don't ever dominate teams. They always have to get a bit of that rub of the green. So. Yeah. I think United in 7th should be very, very thankful that they are there, because it could easily be a lot worse this season. I think this United side play worse football than the Chelsea team did last season. They finished 12th. Yeah. I think the United side have just got more fortunate. And the reason is Chelsea didn't score any goals last season. Whereas United, they have scored goals this season because they've got players like Bruno that they can rely on to really overperform. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting today. They obviously travelled to Brighton, and they haven't got a whole lot to play for, Brighton, so I could see United winning there today. So a fascinating final day, because so much can still change. Obviously, there is still the small possibility that Luton Town stay in the Premier League. They would have to overturn a 12-goal deficit and hope that they win and Nottingham Forest lose. And obviously, in that process, overturning that goal difference. Of course, in the race for Europe, Manchester United could confirm it if they win today and Newcastle lose, or if they better Newcastle's result. They could also confirm it if they win the FA Cup on Saturday. So there's options for United there. As for Chelsea, well, unless they lose and Manchester United overturn a 14-goal difference, they will be in the top 7. So will be in European football, provided United don't win the FA Cup next weekend. They could also go as high as 5th today, Chelsea, if they win and Tottenham lose to Sheffield United. Seems unlikely, but strange things have happened on the final day of the season. And I don't think anything would personify Tottenham's downfall in the second half of the season quite as much as dropping behind Chelsea, who at one point this season were 18 points off Tottenham. Yeah. That would really demonstrate quite vividly what has happened to Tottenham in the second half this season.
That's been a massive shift, I feel, in the race for Europe. You had Tottenham, West Ham and United were quite comfortably occupying those spaces at one point.
Well, Tottenham were considered title challengers.
Yeah.
They led 3 game weeks, I think.
And then it's switched around as Newcastle and Chelsea have found some late season form here, and cracks have really started to show in the likes of United and West Ham, and especially Tottenham. I mean, Ange Postecoglou talking about being the team being fragile. It's a really interesting circumstance, and obviously, as you say, a lot can still change today in those places between 5th and 8th. So I'm intrigued to see how it's all going to pan out, but that would be really poor from Tottenham if they were to end up 6th. But I think they'll have it. I think they'll be all right.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, Postecoglou questioning, calling the fans, the players, I think the whole club in totality quite fragile, and I agree to a certain extent. There is that losers mentality at Tottenham, and you saw that with how they would rather. I understand because they're rivals, why you'd want Man City to beat you in that sense, but I don't know. I get where Postecoglou is coming from, because it is just a weird mentality at Tottenham.
Every manager said
there's a reason they've not won anything.
Every manager said it. Conte said the same. Mourinho said the same, and now Postecoglou's saying the same. They're all along the lines of there's so much wrong with the club. From on, off the pitch, wherever you look, there's problems with the club. But for Tottenham, it's about getting through today and looking on to next season and trying to sort that out because that's their main aim now. Really,
Yeah.
they should be okay. I don't think Chelsea will catch them today, but you never know. And I expect those places to be pretty nailed on, despite the fact that technically they're still all to play for.
Yeah, Iron Bread says, I understand Eric hasn't been what we thought he'd be, but just to play the devil's advocate, he has barely got to play a locked-on team due to injuries. The thing is, I can sort of understand your point, because I agree that, United have had injury problems this season, but the teams they're competing with have had those same issues.
I hate the injuries.
Newcastle
everyone has injuries in the Premier League.
Not everyone has injuries, and other teams have better squad depth. So there are differences that, if Man City lose Haaland, they don't go, well, that's it, we don't have a striker now. They've got 5 in the cupboard under the stairs. And United don't have that quality in depth. But equally, the teams they're competing with right now, Chelsea, yes, they've got depth, but they have had the same sort of injury problems. Newcastle don't have any depth, and they've had arguably worse injury problems than United. So I think while I can understand that from a tactical point of view, it's difficult to have a squad that is so injury prone. He can't complain about depth when he was given so much money to invest in the squad, and so much money was invested in the squad, and he chose to spend 100 million on Anthony. Like, that was his choice. His decision was to go in the market for Anthony. So I can understand to a certain extent why I'd be frustrated, but if he complains about squad depth, and a lot of that is because he overspent on players and then didn't have enough to go and buy squad depth.
Yeah, I mean,
United don't have an endless pit of money.
Yeah, United the same answer. I don't buy any of it, because even his fully fit side are absolute crap. So it doesn't really matter who you put out there in a United shirt; they're going to play poorly.
And obviously that does mitigate it somewhat for Eric Ten Hag, because I think the squad is genuinely really poor.
Yeah.
Across the board. I think there's some really decent players. I think Lissandro's great. I think Kobe Mainoo's quite a good talent. I think he's overhyped, but I think he's a good talent. I think Garnacho's quite a good player on his day. I think Bruno can be, but his attitude and mentality frustrate me. But I don't think Ten Hag is ready for that big job. They can give him time, but they have to accept that may take time for him to find that tactic and to build that squad. Because right now, United need to accept that they're not a big club anymore.
Yeah.
Right now, they are not. We saw it in Europe this season. They couldn't compete against sides they really should have been beating based on their reputation. But if you look at the squad, are they that much better than the teams they've lost to? Not really.
Yeah.
Nick Nack says, United have conceded one more goal than Brentford and conceded the same as Palace. I mean, there you go. That says it all, really. Nick Nack saying Spurs have improved on last season, though, without Kane. Spurs are Chelsea, United and Newcastle. Let's not forget, hardly a terrible season for them. But to be fair, Nick Nack, I would argue that almost... I don't think those three are really the benchmark anymore. United, I don't think are anywhere near... Or should be anywhere near where they are.
United crap.
Chelsea have been recovering from 12th position, and while have played really well in the last, I'd say, 2 months, they did have a really difficult start to the season. And Newcastle have had one of the worst injury crises of anyone in the Premier League. So I think Tottenham should be a lot higher than they are. And to see them below Aston Villa, I think there's definitely got to be some questions around how that has happened for Tottenham. But I still think they would be stupid to part with Postecoglou, even though there are some key issues with his philosophy. I think he's way too idealist for the Premier League. You've got to be able to adapt on the fly. And he's just not a pragmatist. And that he could develop that, because we've seen coaches before, especially ones that have been relegated, were quite idealist. Farke, Wagner, and now because of time and experience, they're now a bit more pragmatic. But I think Postecoglou's got to develop that before Tottenham can seriously compete at the front. If Chelsea are back where they should be next season, Newcastle recover well, Tottenham are going to be struggling to get into Europe next year. So they've definitely got to consider that. But, Gary says, I'm here to witness David Moyes leaving one final parting gift to the Premier League. Welcome to the stream, Gary. Good to see you. Nick Nack says Newcastle recovered very well, though. Yeah, Newcastle's a weird one, isn't it, this season? Because I don't remember them playing well in many games, but they have done all right. They've had so many injuries this year, so it's understandable why there's not been any consistency. They did really well in the Champions League, but I can't remember any Premier League performances where I thought they played incredibly well, other than possibly the 8-0 win over Sheffield United.
We even thought they did well in the Champions League and they finished bottom of their group. I don't know.
To be fair, they did do well in the Champions League.
Yeah, but it just feels, I don't know. Newcastle, they've found themselves in 7th. They've fallen away below Chelsea due to the silly loss to United last week. And realistically, I think that's where they're going to finish. But for me, that Newcastle side in the Conference League next season, they will absolutely walk it. They will walk it. So I'm sure they'll have a good time. But yeah, there's a lot. I think we speak about every club going to next year. There's a lot to be. There's Tottenham are a bit of an unknown. United are probably still be absolutely terrible unless they change things up. Chelsea looks to be on the up, but who knows? Might just sack Poch for a laugh. It's really interesting. And obviously Liverpool as well is the big one there with Klopp leaving today. There's a lot. I mean, even West Ham are an unknown. There's a lot of unknowns going into next year, which is really interesting. Because I know that sounds silly to say, because usually some years we do have a lot of managers leaving or a lot of change going on at clubs. But this year, for me, it feels like a lot of the shake-up is happening at the top rather than mid-table. Yeah, we're getting a lot of teams in the top 10, in the European places, that are having a shake-up going into next year.
Yeah, and obviously, well, even with the sides that seem settled, so obviously Klopp's going, we expect that Guardiola will either mysteriously disappear this summer or will leave at the end of his contract.
One more year.
Yeah, so, well, he could sign another year, but we would expect him to go next summer. But it does feel like we are at the end of the Klopp-Pep era. What that means for Man City is going to be interesting, because I don't think they have such a sustained period of dominance without Guardiola. I think they will win today's title, and we'll get on to predictions later, but I think they will likely win today's title. I think they will likely win next season, because I can't really see how Arsenal bridge that gap. But because they don't have Pep Guardiola, that's the missing factor. But I think after Pep, there's a lot of question marks as to what they're going to look like.
Yeah, I do think the Pep Klopp era is I always find it weird, because if you actually look at the surface of it, Klopp took one title, and apart from that, it's only been FA Cups and Carabao Cups in terms of the domestic campaign. So it's weird they shared an era that was so dominated by City. It's interesting. Obviously, I think Klopp's era at Liverpool has been phenomenal, but in terms of the domestic campaign, I don't know. I think he'd have liked to do more, probably. He'd have liked to take the fight to City a bit more. But as he said, and as we've said, it's Pep. No other for any other manager in that City side, they don't win 4 titles in a row. No chance.
And that'll be interesting, because how do you replace Pep? You don't.
They will get worse.
That's a simple.
City will get worse. And that's the thing we'll have to look at. And people will say people don't like them. People will say it's the money. But we know that once Pep leaves, City will get worse. Whether they get dramatically worse or slightly worse, they're still going to get worse.
Yeah. Do we have any idea of Taziki Bagirstein? Is that how you pronounce his name? The technical director of football guy.
Do
we know if he's staying? Because that, for me, will decide arguably even more.
Yeah.
Because if they've got to replace their whole football recruitment operation, that's going to be really interesting. Imbro says, I think Ten Hag should go purely off the fact that United need a refresh. I'd bring in Motta or Amorim to manage that, willing to change things up when it's not going well. Yeah, whoever you bring in, there has to be investment there. The thing is, United is such a big role with such high expectations. If United wanted to seriously overhaul their squad, the first thing you've got to do, or overhaul their team, the first thing you've got to do is actually lower their expectations. You've got to bring in a manager, and you've got to say, you've got a year. We have no expectations for this first year. It's about building. It's about bedding in. It's about creating something. But putting those foundations. But they'd never accept that, United.
That's the problem.
Because the Glazers want instant success. They want more money. They don't want to risk. They don't want to take a risk in their investment. They're happy because they're earning. There's a reason that United aren't striving for more, because the Glazers are earning enough now. Yeah. If they strive for more and fail, they lose money.
And the thing is that for any top quality manager, United is a horrible project to look at. So unless United are going to, give the manager everything in terms of time, money, resources, accommodation, a butler, they're going to have to throw everything at a top quality. Obviously, I know you said they're Motta or Amorim. To convince one of them to come to United, you're going to have to give them the world and more. Especially
given the other roles they're being offered. Motta's likely to take charge of Juventus after Allegri's sacking. The AC Milan job's also available. We know De Zerbi's out of contract now, but he's linked with Bayern. He's linked with Milan. It's a difficult one. Who wants to go to United right now? I don't see Ruben Amorim working there, because you'd have to invest so much money into rebuilding that squad, and I don't think that's what United want to do. So if they did bring in Amorim, he would have to try and shoehorn the current team, which does not fit his system at all, into his system, and it wouldn't work.
The other thing for United is they need to find a manager that isn't gonna fall into the trap and fall into the philosophy of, when it goes wrong, I'm just gonna sit here and make excuses. Erik ten Hag was a good manager, but now it feels like every time something goes wrong, it's somebody else's fault. It's not the players, it's not him, it's something else. It's the board, it's the injuries, it's the weather. I hate this from managers, and there's a few that do it in the Premier League. When things get tough or things go wrong, managers make excuses, and you're not going to get better doing that. Because if Ten Hag came out in the presser and said, okay, we've had a tough year, we've been shit, but we're going to improve on next year, that shows a lot more respect and maybe a lot more quality in his managerial style than just going, oh, this season we've been injured and it started raining and Old Trafford was falling down. It's just I don't know, I think United, the board, the players, the staff, they need to take responsibility going into next year. If not, nothing's going to change.
Yeah, and Nick Nack's saying, well, Ten Hag has had the money and the time so far and still not delivered. I think you make a fair point. Ten Hag has had investment.
Yeah.
I still don't see what he's trying to do tactically. You look at the system and I just have no idea what they're trying to do there. There's no build up. Like there just isn't. They smash it long and hope something happens up there when they don't have a target man.
Mine has got a screamer. Wow.
It all feels like let's just try something now. Yeah. Let's see what happens. It's just there's no patterns to the play. There's no structure. It's just I don't know. I don't really know what's happening at United. I don't even think Ten Hag could tell you. Gary says, yeah, good point, Inbreds. No matter what changes United or Ineos make now, Ten Hag will always be viewed as a remnant of the previous era. It does feel like this is the time to make a statement and start afresh, is to bring in someone new, to clear a lot of deadwood. Because I feel like a lot of people compare the Chelsea United projects, but I think they're at different points. Chelsea have got to sit still for a bit. Like, yeah, sure, keep signing 18-year-olds, but actually, let's just maybe 1, 2, 3 transfers this summer. The rest of the squad just sit still and see what happens. With United, it needs an overhaul.
Yeah.
Because there's so much deadwood there. I mean, plus, the recruitment's got to change massively as well under Ineos, because £40 million for a 32-year-old defensive midfielder whose legs were already gone has to go down as one of the worst
Johnny
ideas.
Evans.
Well, yeah, that at least that was free. But yeah, Casemiro, an awful idea. Brett saying, exactly, mate. Ten Hag is a reminder to everyone involved with the club of tough times. The dressing room needs to have a feeling of refreshment. I'd agree. I think there's definitely a bit of a cloud now over Ten Hag's head.
Think about it. If you did bring a new manager in, players like, say, just as an example, Jadon Sancho will come back next year and probably give it a good shot. But if he's coming back to Ten Hag, why is he going to play for him?
I wouldn't be surprised if they're waiting for Southgate in December. Because we know that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is a massive admirer of Southgate. Yeah. And while tactically he may not be the best, one, we also don't really understand his tactics because knockout football is very different. So maybe that would change. And two, he is the best motivator.
Yeah.
So I think that could be a decent fit. It might go awfully, at least he would make everyone feel happy in the club for a bit.
Because and that's what a lot of managers have done so far. When we look at the top managers in the Premier League, Pep, Arteta, I think Arteta and Klopp especially, when they came in, the first thing they did is they made sure that they had 11 players who would go out there, no matter the style, no matter the opposition, they'd go out there and believe they could win. And that's where you have to start in football. And that is why we are now sitting here today with managers like Pep and like Arteta fighting for a title. And if United want to do that, that's because at the moment you've got a team there where every time they step on a pitch, they think they're going to lose.
Yeah, Just Fan says Chelsea still need new players. I couldn't disagree more. Chelsea do not need new players. Chelsea need to stop for a bit.
I don't mind bringing in young players for the future, but we don't need a striker.
Well, I wouldn't mind an older striker to offer a backup option. We don't have a backup striker at the moment.
Tyreek George, good enough.
He's not a striker, tag midfielder. But so I would definitely, I'd look at a striker, maybe a left back if we sell Chilwell or Martson, because I don't know how they tactically work in the system, and maybe centre half if we don't know if Afan's ever going to play football again.
Need some bloody good physios.
Yeah, that. We don't need more players. I think the squad is really strong, and I definitely would not be sacking
Pochettino. If Wesley Fofana is fit, he's going to feel like a new signing next season. I don't think
no, he's not played in the Chelsea shirt for ages.
I know, I forgot he looks like in the Chelsea shirt, to be completely honest. But yeah, I think for Chelsea, it's on the up. And for me, and this won't get talked about, and I know you guys who know us might think we're being a bit biased here, but if Chelsea today were to finish fifth, that for me, fifth, and a domestic final and semi-final, I am absolutely chuffed a bit.
Last European
absolutely brilliant
season. I think even if it's sixth, I think it's still a really positive season. When you consider where we were 12 months ago, I think Pochettino deserves a lot of plaudits for one, how he's changed the mentality around the club, because I definitely think there's a bit more of a positive feeling. Not if you're on Twitter, because that's a cesspit, but I think if you speak to Chelsea fans, they are a lot more positive about the club. And then also tactically, Chelsea look like they've got a style. So I think there is. Yeah, definitely some improvements there. We've got 5 minutes to kick off and we've not done anything yet. So let's get into lineups, predictions, and then we'll keep chatting.
Right.
Today's going to be a bit more of a chatty stream, possibly not as commentary heavy. Obviously, we're going to be commentating over the big moments, talking about the big moments, but it is going to be Premier League final day, rounding up for the year, and just enjoying one last day of Premier League football.
We've got European places to be decided. Klopp's final game.
There's too much going on to focus on one match.
We've got to relegate a side today. I know it's probably Luton, but we've got to relegate Burnley, Sheffield United's last game for the Premier
Luton
League.
somehow win 14.
De Zerbi's last game at Brighton. You know, there's so much happening today. We've got 90 minutes to unpack it all, and in 90 minutes we will crown a new we'll crown a Premier League champion.
All right. Lineups. Manchester City are, of course, the home side at the Etihad Stadium. They line up in the same team as always, so I don't need to read it out, but I'm going to anyway, so we can appreciate how much money they've spent and how good it is. In goal, it's Ortega, of course, with Ederson out with a concussion. The back four, Captain Walker, Diaz, Akanji, and Josko Gvardiol. In defensive midfield, it will be Rodri. Of course, this will look like your classic 3-2-4-1 with likely Akanji pushing forwards. Across the four, Doku, Silva, De Bruyne and Phil Foden. Phil Foden recently crowned Premier League Player of the Season. Rightfully so, Harry?
100%. He has been absolutely brilliant.
And then, of course, leading the line, it's your top goal scorer unless Cole Palmer scores 10 today, Erling Haaland. Very good team.
Yeah, it's a very, very good side. It is a champion. It's a league-winning side, and I'm sure they're going to give it a very, very good go today.
As for West Ham, David Moyes' last ever team will be a 3-4-3, which is fantastic to see. In goal, Alphonse Areola, a back three of Captain Zuma, Mavropanos and Aaron Cresswell. Across the midfield four, with the wing-backs involved, Soufal, Ward-Prowse, Souček and Emerson. What a fun double pivot that is. And then across the front three, Kudus, Antonio and Lucas Paqueta. But no Jared Bowen. Do you think it would look different if they had Bowen, or is this what you expected to see?
No, it's what I expected to see. Moyes going out in style. He'll be hoping to go out on a win at the Etihad. That'd be good for him. But let's be honest, he just wants to go home now. He does nothing. But West Ham, they're going to give it a good go. It's always weird to be the opponents of a team in the title fight, because obviously you're going to give it your best shot. But you also know that they've got everything to play for and you've got nothing to play for, so yeah.
Indeed. Frank Chinedu saying Chelsea need a goalkeeper, a centre-half and a striker. Striker I agree with. Depth striker I definitely agree with. A goalkeeper I'm still not sure on. I really like Jorde Petrovic.
And got Slonina in the
But he has, well exactly, and he looks like he'll go out on loan to Strasbourg. So that's quite a nice move for him. But I'm still not certain on Petrovic. I think there's been a few silly errors, but he's one of the youngest goalkeepers in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any harm in giving him another season. If we get to January and he's made a catalogue of massive errors, then maybe we have to bring in a goalkeeper for 6 months. But ultimately, unless I don't really know who you look at right now. You know, I think Georgi Mamardashvili is one of the most exciting young goalkeepers, but is there much between him and Slonina? Probably not, and that would be a gamble in itself. So you're taking a risk whoever you would go for, and I don't think Petrovic has been particularly poor this season. So for me, I'd definitely keep him.
Yeah, fair enough.
Joseph Van Sayer, players might go. I don't really see who leaves for Chelsea. I think if we lose Sterling, that's a positive, not a negative. I think we might sell Martz and we might sell Chilwell, and I wouldn't mind if we then signed a left back to replace them. I'm not sure who, because who can play the role that we've had Cucurella playing. Cucurella's incredible. But
I think the only problem will be, as Gary mentioned, is that if the Chelsea board force Poch to sell for FFP reasons, look at the likes of Chalobah and Gallagher.
Yeah.
The board will be very keen to move them on for the profit.
But we need FFP profit, right? Martson, 30 million to potentially Champions League winners Dortmund. Amari Hutchinson, 40 million to Ipswich Town. They've apparently been in conversations for that. I like Amari, but we've got Madueke and we've got Angelo who can both play on there now. We've got Palmer who can play on the right wing, and we've got Esteval joining. That doesn't all fit. So one of them's going to have to go anyway. If we can get 40 million for Amari Hutchinson, I think that's a really good deal.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't mind losing him for that. I don't think we need to. If we sell Conor Gallagher, that's a huge, huge issue for me, because that would represent a bit of naivety, I think, in the boardroom, because he's been one of our strongest performers this year, and he's actually someone who gives a shit. Yeah, we don't have enough of those at Chelsea, so I wouldn't be selling off. I wouldn't be selling off anyone like Conor Gallagher. I wouldn't be selling off Chalobah, because again, I think he's one of the players who actually looks like they care. Yeah, and we need that. So yeah, here we go. Premier League final day. The Premier League anthem blasting loud at the Etihad. Manchester City and West Ham shaking hands before this encounter. Shall we predict who's going to win the Premier League title then?
I mean, I'm not an idiot. I'm not drunk. It's going to be Man City. I just don't... I think Arsenal will win at the Emirates. I think they'll give West Ham... I think they'll batter Everton. But City aren't going to lose today. City just aren't going to drop points here.
Yeah.
It might be a 1-0 win. It might be a 7-0 win. City won't drop points. City will win the league. And we'll sit here for another year and have to wait till next season to find someone else who might win the league that isn't Man City.
It will be Man City though, won't it?
Probably.
Anyway, I think City will win the league, yeah, because as much as I'm predicting on Friday's show, in the Prem Predictions show, that Arsenal will win the league, because Prem Predictions is a time for taking bold gambles, but on the live stream, City are going to win. That's fairly obvious, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just not fun anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's a bit boring, isn't it? It's no like predicting it.
Well, I don't know. I'll be intrigued, because I think next season could be interesting. Because if you've got enough... Nottingham Forest are staying in the Premier League. They've scored after 2 minutes. Burnley are crap. So there we go. Wow. That's that over.
Well, the relegation fight is
Goodbye,
over
Luton
before
Town.
we even kicked off here at the Etihad. Fun. But yeah,
there goes that.
Give me a good game. Hopefully a nice way to end the Premier League here. 10 games. Already got a goal in one of them.
Yeah. I know we've got a title fight, but I want to talk about Burnley. Because what's gone wrong this season? They come up with so much expectation. Yeah. People predicting them top half. Why has it all gone wrong for Burnley this season?
Because they forgot to kind of have a reality check and realise who they are. Company has come into the Premier League and tried to play too attacking football for the quality that Burnley possess compared to the rest of the league. They've come into this trying to play the same way they did last year. Now, last year, they had the best quality squad by a country mile. It says a lot that Sheffield United finished second.
Yeah.
I mean, they've gone down because they're crap. But Burnley, they're a decent side, but compared to the Premier League, they've come in here and they've tried to play football too open, too attacking minded for a side that were always going to be, when you get promoted, you're always going to be one of the favourites to go down. So to try and come up and play the way that they have is very risky, and it clearly hasn't paid off because the quality just isn't there. You can't play as attacking as they have this season and expect to get away with it.
Yeah, do you think Burnley will bounce straight back up?
Oh, 100%. They'll absolutely walk that league next year.
That's interesting, because I disagree. I think there's a lot of
That's the reason they've
quality.
kept company. It's the reason they haven't sacked him, because they know that they're going to come straight back up again.
I think they think that, but I think they might be naive. I think there'll be competition in there next season.
Sheffield United won't.
I think Middlesbrough will be stronger next year.
Yeah.
Most people thought they would be this year, but they have had injury troubles, to be fair to them. I think whoever doesn't win out of Southampton and Leeds, unless it's Leeds, sorry. If Leeds don't go up, they're in trouble because they've got to clear 100 million. By the way, we are underway here at the Etihad for the final day of the Premier League season. Man City likely to be crowned champions for a fourth consecutive year.
As Nick says, none of the three pro teams were well equipped to come up. I think you're right. Luton.
I think Luton should be given plaudits.
Oh, 100%. Luton was a fairy tale. To be honest, I never saw them winning those playoffs. Even when they finished sixth, I never saw them beating Coventry on at Wembley.
For me, Luton Town is I'd say since Leicester, the biggest fairy tale. Because a lot of people say, Ipswich Town gets the Premier League. Doesn't compare for me. Because one, Ipswich Town have a lot of investment.
Yeah.
And two, they've only gone up 2 divisions. It's not the same. If it's just win the Premier League, sure, fairy tale, back it, well done. How on earth they managed that?
Yeah,
if they win the Premier League next season, then sure. But for me, I don't think Ipswich is on the same level. Because I think there were people predicting it.
Yeah, and Luton have done...
Probably not in the autos.
Luton gave it a good go. The fact they've taken it to the final day does surprise me. I think Burnley, as I said, tried to play too attacking wise, and Sheffield United are utter crap. They are terrible. But in terms of next year,
Phil Foden opens it up, and there we go. Manchester City are Premier League champions elect for now. Phil Foden, Premier League Player of the Season, unleashes a strike of the highest quality on the edge of the box after just 90 seconds. Manchester City 1, West Ham 0. And as Alex Arsenal fan joins the stream, I think Arsenal fans will be turning it off because Manchester City lead here. And it seems all but done.
Yeah, that's it now. Well done, Man City.
West Ham. Jesus Christ.
We got 90 seconds of a final day title fight. Brilliant. What a day.
I mean, Phil Foden's showing why he's been the best player in the Premier League this season.
Take nothing away from him.
Magnificent effort.
Stupidly good. He is an absolute phenomenal
And West Ham showing why they didn't win the Europa League.
Honestly, him at the Euros next season, this year, is absolutely lethal.
Yeah, I've got a lot of question marks over that defending.
Oh, yes,
because
defending.
How can you play in a 5-back out of possession? 5-3, isn't it, in midfield? No, 2 in midfield, to be fair. But still, that is a 3-4. That's quite a low block at times.
Yeah.
And there's so much space for Foden, who cuts inside and puts on top corner.
And Pep's face shows that he knows they've done it. He knows they're champions now. They've done it. This is what City do. This is what champions do. Everyone that we've sat here all week and gone, Arsenal will still win the league. Who's going to win the league? It's going to be tight. Here are the permutations. And City have shut all of us up in 89 seconds.
Yeah, that's what they do. It took longer last year, didn't it? There was a bit of an and ah, weren't there, about it?
Exactly, because Villa gave...
Sorry, the year before that.
Oh, yeah.
Last year was already over.
But yeah, I think, we'll talk about... I think next season, as Nick Nat says, it's unusual for all three promoted sides to go back down. I think next season will be interesting. Leicester, very tough.
I think Leicester...
starting on minus.
I think Leicester will go back down.
They're in big trouble. Ipswich Town, I think, will make a very good go of it. I really do.
I think Forest are in trouble next season. Because they've been crap this year and they've overspent. Yeah. They've got nothing to spend unless they want to break FFP again. So I really don't know what they do. I have no idea how Nottingham Forest improve on their squad. I don't think Nuno's very good. They'll probably keep him till December and then sack him and bring in probably Gary Cooper. They just keep on an endless cycle.
I think if Leeds come up, they'll give it a good go because similar to Leeds to Ipswich, but I think a bit more. Ellen Road is an absolute fortress.
Oh yeah, to an nth degree, and I think they've got investment there.
Yeah.
And they will, and even if they did lose someone like Somerville or Nonto, that's a lot of money.
Because as Luton have proven, these championship stadiums that create such an atmosphere can take on anyone. Luton, were beating Man City for 45 minutes.
But also, playoff final next Sunday. I think for Leeds, it is so much more crucial they win than for Southampton. Because if Leeds don't go up, they have to sell over 100 million to make up their losses. And I think we could see Leeds stuck in the Championship for a good few years then.
Yeah. Because
they'd be in such financial ruin that they'd have to keep completely overhauling their squad. And they'll just be burning money while trying to get to the Premier League. That's what the Championship does to clubs. So they could be in a real tough spot there. I think for Southampton, on the other hand, they haven't got the same issues. Yes, they still have to shift a couple of players probably, but I don't think they've got the same sort of issues. I don't think they're as good as Leeds by any stretch. I do think there are some issues with Russell Martin's system. I don't think they're penetrative enough of low blocks. That won't be an issue though in the playoff final. And it won't be in the Premier League because they'll be playing against high lines. But I do think there is a bit of an issue there. But I think Southampton could definitely win on next Sunday. I wouldn't be surprised. Because there's not as much pressure on them. For Leeds, they have to win. There's such a pressure on Leeds because of the financial difficulties, for the financial issues and the permutations if they don't go into the Premier League again.
Yeah.
By the way, Brentford went 1-0 up, but that goal was disallowed. A goal for Ivan Toney there. It was Anthony Alanga who set up Chris Wood for the Nottingham Forest goal. So there we go. Chris Wood keeping them alive.
Deadly player he is. But yeah, Brentford's another one, isn't it? Next season, what's going to happen to them? Are they going to be in trouble again, or do you think they'll play better?
Very much depends on whether they keep Ivan Toney, what they do in the window. I don't think their squad is of the highest quality, to be honest.
Do you think Thomas Frank could pride away?
I don't know where he goes. I really like Thomas Frank. I don't see Brentford ever sacking him because they'll always look at the underlying numbers.
If I asked that question at the end of last season,
I think Brentford have been very unlucky this season because they didn't score enough in the first half of the season because of Tony's suspension. Yeah. They haven't looked good enough anyway at times, but I don't think they'd have ever been in this relegation fight if they had Tony all season. Yeah. I think they had a more positive start. I think a lot of their losses have become because there is such a negative feeling because they're so low in the table.
Yeah.
I think that won't be an issue for them next season, but I'll be very intrigued to see. I have no idea who's going to be down there next season because I look at the teams that are down there. I don't think Everton are very bad at all. No. I think Fulham are. I'll be fascinated to see what happens there because they have overperformed for 2 seasons. They still don't really have a striker.
Yeah,
Muniz has done well at times this season.
Not prime R9 halfway through the year.
About 3 weeks, and everyone went, "Wow, going to put him in my FPL
and they
team."
gained enough points to put them pretty comfortably.
Yeah.
Palace are going to be right out of there.
I think Marcus Silva's a top coach. Top coach. So I think that's really good. I think the coaching standard at the moment in the Premier League is why it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because, Crystal Palace have Oliver Glasner, who is a Champions League coach. He could easily be at Bayern Munich. Bournemouth have Andoni Iraola, who is, again, I think could be a European football coach. He could easily be playing Europa League, Conference League football if he was at a different side. So there's a lot of that at the moment in the Premier League where actually anyone who goes down next season would be a huge shock. We're not where we were 10 years ago, where you look at the managers and people like Gary Monk are in there. Like that's where we've gone because these clubs are smart and they go and take managers from the continent. I have no idea where Gary Monk is in a monastery, but I think it's really interesting to see who goes down next season because everyone's really good.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Like Everton are right down there, but that's only because of points deductions.
And I'm guessing you just answered it, but I think we are going to see one of those mid-table sides that kind of just float between 10th and 14th. One of them could be in trouble next year.
I have no idea what's going to happen with Wolves. I don't think their squad's very good, but
Wolves.
O'Neill's done so well with them this season.
I never see them
somehow.
win. I never see them lose. I just see Gary O'Neill complain about VAR.
I'm going to throw a very rogue shout out there.
Yeah.
I think West Ham could go down next season.
Depends who they bring in. It really depends.
Lopetegui, isn't it? I think that's a crap appointment. I have to be honest. I hope he proves me wrong for the sake of West Ham fans, but I think that's a crap appointment.
I don't mind West Ham.
If they invest any money, if they invest a bit of money, they might do all right. But I think that's look at the quality in attacking areas, and you're bringing in Lopetegui, who's
have they
just
got
a bit meh.
Have they got similarly to some teams we've seen this season? Have they got the quality of the squad just to keep them up?
Well, maybe players like Kudus could definitely rely on them, but there's nothing saying he won't leave. If United seriously wanted a manager who's going to take them forwards, a player that's going to take them forwards, that would be a great option. It's 1-0 Crystal Palace against Aston Villa. Jean-Philippe Mateta with that goal set up by Michael Elise.
I think they bring Mateta in there. Yeah, as Nick speaking of managers, I think that makes a good point. Only 5 managers sacked this season.
Well, exactly that.
And that is usually weird. But equally, and I commend this, it's patience. Chelsea could have easily sacked Poch. We've stuck with him, and now look where we are at the end of the season.
I talk about how we've got smarter boards, so bringing in better managers. We've also got rid of the idiots in the boards. Yeah. We haven't got like West Brom's owner from a few years ago. We haven't got Watford's owners. The players are just sacking people every week. West Brom owners who were just idiots in the Premier League.
Sheffield United stuck with Paul Heckingbottom a lot longer than I thought they did.
Well,
but again,
it helped
you think about it,
sides didn't sack them out.
Exactly.
Well, Sheffield United did, but
if you think about it,
come on.
Chelsea were patient with Poch, it paid off. Bournemouth were patient with Iraola, it paid off. Technically, Roy Hodgson wasn't sacked, was he? But he
was sacked, wasn't he?
Was he? Or did he jump before he was pushed? Because he kind of fell ill. And
either way, I think
it was a bit messy, wasn't it? That whole him leaving the club. Burnley haven't sacked Company because they know they think he's going to do well next year. And then Forest, God knows, the owner's a bit of a maniac.
Well, yeah, that's the thing for Forest is they have, I think, one of the worst managers in the Premier League and one of the worst owners in the Premier League. So that's why I tip them for relegation next season. Nick Knack pointing out the managers there. Alex Asafan says Crystal Palace are growing to a great club with Oliver Glasner. That sounds like someone who watched our video on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, Alex Asafan. Oh, it did 500 views in the end.
Oh, okay.
So it picked up. So, 450.
But yeah.
But yeah, thanks to everyone that did watch that. I thought it was quite... I really enjoyed looking at Crystal Palace. I think they're an exciting team.
Really good.
Well, they should be, but there's so many teams in the Premier League who should be really good next year, isn't there?
The problem, this is why we say there's probably a surprise to get relegated next year, because for me...
Chelsea's dream of 5th is over.
There are too many teams that are good enough to finish in the top 10 that there's not enough spaces.
Yeah.
Because you take the top 10 now, plus Bournemouth,
that's why I think West Ham
Palace, Bournemouth, Palace, Wolves. I think they're all good. Brentford, if they're on the up, if Tony can get firing.
Yeah. I also have no idea, by the way, why West Ham wouldn't employ a manager who plays a 3-back system.
No,
because
honestly,
their squad is perfect.
I think
Aguard Mavropanos Zuma is the most back 3 thing I've ever heard.
I'll tell you what, the one thing for me is, it feels rushed. Why have they rushed to hire someone?
And why rush to hire Julian Lopetegui?
Because
there's so many Conte's out of job.
I don't understand it. The season hasn't finished. They've got.
Yeah.
I know they want to obviously recruit and stuff, but technically they've got the whole summer to find somebody, and they've done it before Moyes has even gone. It's really bizarre to me. Really
They haven't
bizarre.
officially announced it, have they? But it's all but confirmed.
Yeah.
I think it's a Fabrizio type, all it's done thing.
He
But
bores for. He makes football boring.
yeah, I get why they didn't go for Amram in the end. I think he only ever used them to get to Liverpool, which ultimately didn't work. But still, that would have been the perfect appointment for me. Because the squad, we did a video on it, the squad fits it perfect, fits his style perfectly. And he's an exciting young coach who possibly would have improved the squad. I think Lopetegui puts him in real trouble.
Yeah.
I really think he does. And they'll probably sack him halfway through and maybe get away with it. But and maybe they'll rely too much on individual quality like they have this season. But I don't know. I feel if West Ham were as ambitious, they'd have gone for a better appointment than Lopetegui. The thing is, it's not even a boring appointment. It's just shit.
Is it?
I don't think he's a very good
maybe
manager.
Safe? Do you think is it quite a safe appointment in terms of they think?
I'm not sure because he's got
in terms of what they think. Do they think he's good enough to
Maybe.
get them 7th or 8th, just to get them in the conference again? They can win that and go, "Oh, we've won the European trophy two
I think
times."
he's done very well, and his CV speaks for itself. As Nick Nack says, Spain, Porto, Real Madrid, Sevilla. But ultimately, he didn't have much success with any of those sides. Emerson's running through the team, by the way, or he's given up on that.
Why did he stop?
Soufal keeps it alive, crosses it in, and they clear it away.
Just to be that guy, it is only 1-0. If West Ham score, the title race is suddenly back on. I'm going to be that.
It's 1-0 Chelsea and 2-0 Nottingham Forest. So lovely Chelsea goal from Moise Caicedo. That's someone I don't think scored this season.
Curler or
Caicedo.
corner?
It is
David
a
Moyes.
right-foot shot from more than 35 yards. That is what I want to hear.
More than 35 yards.
Just smacked it. That's what it said on FootMob.
You have to find that. Also, this is David Moyes.
I probably can. I think it's on that.
1,101.
Let's hope West Ham don't score in the next few minutes because I want to see
50th
Moise Caicedo
go.
slap one top corner.
But yeah. Well, everyone's having a great time. A lot of goals going in. Has Caicedo? We missed it. That's a shame.
Oh, we can watch the fans celebrate. So that's good.
Yeah. But Caicedo.
Oh, no, there we go. We might get a
There we
replay
go,
of it.
Hopefully so. But here we go. Let's see what Caicedo's belter was. So apparently this is more than 35 yards out. So let's see what happened here. Oh, the keeper's
The
come
keeper
out.
thing is it. It's recycled. Oh,
so
wow.
it's for his own half.
Yeah, that's incredible effort,
It
though, to be
is, but
fair.
the goalkeeper's in the middle of the pitch.
What's Neto doing?
I don't know, he doesn't get proper clearance on it.
It's
Caicedo's...
the blonde hair, mate.
Yeah, he scored from his halfway line.
What an effort.
Caicedo from the halfway line, 1-0 Chelsea. What a
Love
strike.
it.
What a season for Chelsea.
Yeah, I think I'm very happy with where we are
Don't
as a
be
club. Yeah, sure. I'm very happy with what Chelsea have managed to do this season. I think we play some good football.
Yeah.
I really enjoy watching us play recently. Gary says, I've got Chris Wood on my FPL bench. This is painful.
I've got a bench boost. Unlucky. Doku! Tipped
What
over
a save.
Areola.
What a save. Areola's a weird one, isn't he? Because I think he's one of the better goalkeepers in the Premier League. But
Also, but obviously Gary just said still a step up from the likes of Slaven Bilic. That's an interesting one. I mean, Bilic. So I didn't realise that Edin Terzic was Bilic's assistant manager at West Ham. So Bilic
Really?
went on to
Wow.
manage Watford and then got sacked, and God knows where he is now. And Terzic is managing the Champions League final in a couple of weeks.
yeah,
So they did well. They could have done with sticking them in West Ham. But yeah.
I think I know someone who captained Chris Wood.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Oh my days.
have that.
That's ridiculous.
He's directly below Harry. Oh no, just above you in the league. So yeah, there we go. Chris Wood brace, sinking Harry's FPL season. Anyway, what a goal, says Chelsea fan exactly.
Bilic is managing in Saudi. That does not surprise me.
If I had to hazard a guess at where Bilic was now, that'd have been second on the list behind Qatar.
Sacked by the Pozos, off to Saudi. Give safe Mariola again. City are up in the ante now.
Yeah, he's got another job lined up at Watford in a year's
Yeah.
time.
Who
Who's
is-
there?
Who is Watford manager right now?
Is it Materazzi? No, Materazzi went to Napoli, didn't he? That was an amusing time. It was Valerian Ismail for a bit. No idea it is now. Tom Cleverley, of course.
Fucking gee, that is
34-year-old Tom Cleverley. Because that's what made me feel really old. It was Cleverley versus Carrick. Who played together obviously at United. So yeah, that's
How long
what a
did they
time to
give
be
him?
alive.
Rodri.
I smashed one on the side now.
I will go cleverly be sacked by November.
Well, he's done 2 months. That'd be the longest serving Watford manager. But yeah.
Oh dear. Yeah, they're a funny club. Yeah, honestly, I do think next year is going to be a very, very good year for the Premier League. So we spoke about mid-table.
What haven't we spoken about?
Well, I
covered it all.
See you next time. The one big thing I guess we haven't touched on is obviously Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah. Do you think Arne Slot's a good replacement? That's the big debate, isn't it?
But again, it's very similar to what we were talking about with Guardiola. Is that Liverpool are going to get worse no matter who they hire. They're not going to get better than what they've got with Klopp.
I agree. I just think, and I know this sounds harsh, but Slot doesn't look like a big manager, does he? He doesn't.
Klopp, Arteta,
I know, exactly. I know this whole aura thing, but he doesn't carry himself like a world class manager.
Yeah. The way you watch an Ancelotti walk out of the Bernabeu, or when Sir Alex Ferguson walked out at Old Trafford, it was like, we're gonna get.
For me, it definitely feels like David Moyes.
Foden to
there we go. City have won the league. Let's all applaud because City have won the league.
Is generational.
Oh, big shout. But yeah, I agree. I think he's an incredible footballer. He celebrated with one fan who got very up in his face and shouted at him. But yeah.
And again, I know we'll talk about it a lot over the summer, but if England do not win the Euros with this man in our team, we are doing something wrong.
It does really paint the most vivid picture of Southgate's England tenure that he didn't start Foden at World Cup 2022.
Ridiculous.
How can you look at a player of this quality?
At this man.
But also, how do they line up? Because for me, the most obvious thing is to play Foden at midfield, Palmer on the left. Oh, no, sorry, Foden on the left, Palmer at midfield, Saka on the right, Bellingham and Rice in the pivot. Because as much people go, Bellingham's at midfielder, he's not. He's can play there, but he's more a box to box. And with him and Rice, again, Rice can also play as a box to box. He can play defensive midfield though.
Now, am I going to give my front six or Southgate's front six?
Well, no, I can tell you what Southgate's front six will be.
No, it'll be Bellingham, Rice, Gallagher.
No, Gallagher's not getting in there.
No, he will. He loves him.
No, he needs Jordan Henderson. How's there going to be any balance in midfield without Jordan Henderson in there?
Because he's there as a team player.
Oh, yeah.
And then it'll be a front three of Saka, Kane, and Sterling with Foden on the bench.
Nice, yeah. Sterling will start.
Yeah,
but
Sterling will go.
1-0 Newcastle. No, he's not.
He will.
He's not been in any squads.
He will.
1-0 Newcastle. Barnes set up by Guimaraes. He won't be. If he played in March internationals, I'd agree. I'd agree with you.
Against Forest.
I would.
All I need to know.
I think he'll take. Yeah, I think he'll take Gordon because he's rapid and in knockout competitions, having someone that will run is really useful.
As well, I love Grealish. I don't love Grealish, but
he loves Grealish.
His ability to win a free kick.
Yeah, can be useful.
Is incredible. When we've got free kick takers like...
Well, to be fair, we can't... It'd be weird if we took both of them. I know we get 3 extra players, so maybe we do this tournament, but
then if you had to... You players like Barnes. Barnes had a really good season.
No, well, he's been injured for most of it.
But when he's not, he's been good. Look at the positives.
Good point. But yeah, I think
Alex Arsenal fan, I know you're frustrated about West Ham, but to be honest, I don't think there's much... I think City could have played any team in the world, any team in the Premier League today, and they would have been 2-0 after 20 minutes.
No, they wouldn't. West Ham particularly crap.
No, but the City, they're going to win. Doesn't matter who, they're going to win.
I think if they got if City got Everton today, I think they struggle because Everton will set up defensively and they will challenge you as they're challenging Arsenal. West Ham can't because there's no tactical direction anyway. Moyes has been in Ibiza for the last month.
If it's 3 or 4 at half time, I think Moyes might go to the referee. Can we just get this over with? Is a referee?
How many goals away do you think Moyes is from summing himself on?
Oh my! It means that I'd run to Manchester just to see him.
Unfortunately, I don't think he's registered. But yeah.
He was. David Moyes at the bottom
squad
of the
numbers. Number 67. He's always got a shirt in his car boot.
Yeah, you never know. But yeah, this would leave Tottenham 5th, Chelsea 6th, Newcastle 7th, and unless United were to win the FA Cup, they're not getting it.
To be fair, I talk about underlying numbers a lot. I think the overlying number you need to look at is that Manchester United are 8th in the Premier League with a -3 goal difference, and West Ham are 9th in the Premier League with a -14 goal difference. If anything suggests that those two sides shouldn't be there, it's that. The fact that, United were 6th at one point with a negative goal difference. It is also crazy that there are it speaks a lot about how dominant City, Liverpool, Arsenal have been this season. That there are only 7 teams in the Premier League on a positive goal difference.
Bloody hell, that is ridiculous.
Yeah, but it also, I think, it also speaks volumes about how attacking the Premier League has become. No longer do that as well. But no longer do we have teams like. But even then, teams like Crystal Palace should be on a positive goal difference because they should put loads past Crystal Palace, loads past Luton, Burnley, Sheffield United, that lot, but they don't. I think it speaks volumes about how the Premier League has changed, and we're seeing the increasing number of attacking coaches. You think like Anthony Raiola compared to Gary O'Neill, who was at Bournemouth last season. That's like a huge shift from a manager in O'Neill who, as we've seen at Wolves this season, sits everyone by the ball and they all just cry
when they get robbed.
When they get robbed. And then Iraola, they're going for it. They press like nutters, ball. It's incredible to watch. But I think that there is a real shift there.
But also, we're in an era where teams in the Premier League can concede over 100 goals.
Well, I think Sheffield United are shit.
I know.
The next highest conceders were Luton on 81, and then Burnley on 78. Like, let's not look at Sheffield United as the benchmark. They're minus 67. They've scored 16 points. That's only 3 more than Derby got. Let's not kid ourselves. They're not very good. Haaland's just decided to do a bit of defending for West Ham there.
Yeah.
Could have scored and said he flicked it past the post for a laugh. No idea what he tried to do there. He just had to put it in the net. He's just robbed me of a Cavadio assist point and a Haaland goal. But to be fair, I don't need Haaland to do anything in FPL today because people have captained him. And I haven't.
I really don't. I just enjoy it. I do well in FPL. I do well in FPL.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I think that, I don't know, if we look at this season as a whole, has it been a letdown?
No. Well, the Premier League title race has gone to the final day. Yeah, the relegation battle's been a bit crap, but that's because the teams that came up have been a bit crap. Because we had 2 shocks. We had a Sheffield United side that should never have been promoted, and we had a Luton Town side that came up through the playoffs. And that was a beautiful story, but ultimately they don't have the resources to compete.
I beg the question, how on earth did they finish second in that championship?
Sheffield United? They were good last season for the championship. But to be fair, on Sheffield United and on the management, I think they lost their 2 best players in the summer, in Sander Berge and Iliman Ndiaye. Their 3rd best player was McAtee, who was on loan. They got him again, didn't they? But he's not been good enough in the Premier League, really. I think overall, they had no money. Their owner was trying to sell the club for all of the summer, so they didn't buy anyone. So they didn't improve their squad from the Championship to the Premier League. Luton couldn't because they had no money, so they bought loads of Championship players who've done quite well, to be fair, and they've given a good fight. But ultimately, they don't have Premier League players. And Burnley have tried to play Championship football in the Premier League, which is quite a side that just aren't good enough for it.
Sheffield United bringing in Chris Wilder proved that they knew they were down. As soon as they sacked Heckingbottom and brought in Wilder, they just knew that they were just going to bring in a guy that everyone liked just to see them to the end of the season. Yeah. They knew they were relegated at that point.
Yeah. Do you think Everton are in a really good position now?
I do.
Because I've got a feeling that Everton might be on the way back up. I don't know what it is
about Sean Dyche in a suit. But it just...
Dyche, a tracksuit, isn't it? He's wearing all sorts. Yeah. But I think that you look at how Everton are playing, they're playing really well. I think Dyche is a good coach. I think additionally, while their recruitment has still not really improved, but it's not as shit as it once was. Yeah. And I love their new stadium. That's gorgeous.
But the one thing I really do like as well is obviously we talk about how good attacking sides are and attacking coaches are in the Premier League. It is brilliant to see a manager like Sean Dyche still being able to play so defensively.
Yeah.
Because he's adapted. He has adapted his football.
I never thought we'd reach a point in the Premier League where Sean Dyche is a maverick.
Yeah.
He's going against the grain guys at Sean Dyche.
He has adapted from when he used to just play Barnes and Vidra up top together, little and large, for Burnley. I love those combos.
I want to bring back those old principles, but with new forwards. Yeah. I want him to have the City job and play Haaland Alvarez off each other.
Yeah.
Haaland's nodding it down so Alvarez can stick it in. That's what I want to see.
Foden's your fast, pacey winger. And
maybe that's how they replace Pep.
And you bring in a tall winger who can just win headers like George Boyd. Once your Goodmanson run that, or your Aaron Lennon.
Where's Arnautovic?
Yeah.
Get a bit of Pulis ball in the Premier League again.
Oh God, he's in Qatar now, isn't he?
I would have just said either that or Talk Sport. Would have been my guess.
Yeah.
Him
and Antonio can sit in a room next to each other next season and have a chat. City have gone for golden season as contenders.
And then I said, sometimes taking promotion, not spending millions and going back down the parachute payments is still progress. Definitely. I mean, it can keep clubs alive because Luton Town will have a squad that should be competitive in the Championship next season. I don't see many players in the Luton squad that are going to want to leave. I think we could see Doughty go. If there's a side that plays a 3-back, but other than that, he's not good enough to be a left-back because he can't defend, really. He's a great guy forwards, and he's a great crosser, but he can't really defend. We could see Adebayo leave, would be the one I expect to go. Because I think someone like an Ipswich Town, bit of height, bit of presence.
Yeah.
He's a much better forward than that Elham. What's
that? But it's George Harris up front, isn't it?
Well, neither of them are Premier League forwards. No. Hate to tell them, but they're not. But the Wolves are down to 10 minutes. Chelsea fan says, Nelson Semedo decided to make it even more red at Anfield by getting sent off. But
why?
Yeah, I think Adebayo could be one that stays in the Premier League. I think Ross Barkley, I'd be surprised because he's out of contract.
Aston Villa wanted him.
He's great though. If United were serious, they'd get Ross Barkley. Not even kidding.
Well, yeah, because that makes a bit more sense.
I think he'd be great at United. But instead, I can predict who they'll sign this summer. It'll be Seru Girassi for 70 million or something stupid like that. And then they'll go, well, why isn't this working? And then
Marco Pasalic.
Well, they've been linked with Tadibo. If Atalanta win the Europa League somehow. They've been linked with Jean-Claude Tadibo, which is a great idea, and they won't sign him. And then they'll panic, and they'll spend 80 million on Jared Branthwaite, which is still a good signing, but 80 million's a bit much.
Tarkovsky. Even Johnny Evans just playing around for a year. A great time.
Oh, it's De Bruyne.
Oh, he didn't go for a pot shot.
He just kicks it at Souček. Yeah. But yeah. Guy said, if Everton struggle, it won't be because of the football, because of the ownership fluff-ups. Dyche has done a good job, exactly the sort of manager Everton needs, as opposed to Rafa Benitez. What Everton need to do, I'm going to talk to Farhad Mashiri here. Piss off. Stop doing anything.
Sell the club.
Don't sell the club. Find a director of football and go have a holiday. Go to the beach. Go see the sights. Go walk around the Great Wall of China. Find someone that knows what they're doing.
Sit in a room, go direct football, and go insure Dyche, and just go. You two are going to earn me money. They say yes. You go to the bloody Caribbean. Have a great time.
As long as you've not
rake in the money.
As long as you've not picked Edward Woodward, you'll be fine. Just don't do anything stupid. But that's all Everton need. Someone that's going to go and recruit players. What if Everton wanted to really go up? What they'd be doing is looking at the Championship this season, scouring through it, and finding those gems. Morgan Whittaker is a great example. He should be playing Premier League football next season, in my opinion. I think he might be with Ipswich Town, to be fair. If they don't get Amari Hutchinson, they might look at him. But yeah, they're the type of signing. So he might go Crystal Palace as well if they lose Eze or Elise, which isn't an exact fit, but I like it enough. But yeah, do you think Elise will go?
To be honest,
or Eze? I think Elise more likely.
I think it will be Palace. Oh, hang on, Haaland's through. Haaland has not.
What a save! Hold on, Ariola.
But yeah, to be honest, I don't know. I think it'll be if Palace get the right price rather than them pushing for a move. Because if I'm Palace now,
Elise push.
I would believe in Glasner's project.
How much money do you think Manchester United are going to pay for him?
80, 90.
That's modest. For me, Chelsea were the most realistic suitors, and they've just bought William Esteban. Yeah. So that's not going to happen now if Chelsea are being sensible.
We've got William here.
Well, exactly, and his nickname's Mousinho, but he doesn't really like that. But
I prefer William.
I like Esteban. Esteban's an incredible name.
Messi? Who knows?
Esteban's an incredible name. Yeah. The aura already, but I think for me, Elise's only realistic option, unless would Arsenal work? Back up to Saka? Would he want to play back up to Saka?
No, he don't back up to Saka. Equally, we need to talk about Arsenal. A, they're currently
why are they not winning yet?
B, they have to find someone to play back up to Saka because the poor bloke is either always injured
Or just let Reece Nelson go on the pitch for a bit.
Yeah, he's quite good.
He's not that bad.
I mean, today Martinelli and Trossard play.
1-0 Liverpool.
That's good. They're going on a high.
Who is it? I hope it's Gakpo or Trent because I bought them both in this week.
I only bought in Gakpo. I haven't got any Liverpool players, I think. I know, silly man.
McAllister.
Oh, fuck.
If you've had for months. Assisted by Harvey Elliott. Should have gone for him, really. But at least we'll go to Man United, says Chelsea fan. If United are smart,
He's ruined.
at least it's a perfect signing for me.
Oh, yeah.
Because they don't have a creator.
And
And I would use Elise as someone that can drift inside. Garnacho on the left-hand side creates a bit of width. You've then got Bruno, Elise, Dallo, fly up the line. Shaw can then sit deeper. But then I guess Shaw's quite good going forwards. I don't really know. Let Ten Hag work it out. That's going really well.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I think Elise is a really good player. And I think he would be a fantastic signing for United. Could City just buy him?
They could.
Because City have been linked with Lucas Paqueta, but is Elise not a better signing?
Why?
That'd be really funny, I think, if City
Just
don't
because
sign
they can.
Paqueta. Well, presumably Bernardo Silva isn't going to play forever.
Yeah, but then... I just
He's
don't
linked
know.
with Barcelona this summer, isn't he? Is Elise not the
Yeah.
perfect replacement? A right winger who can also play attack midfield, who is just basically a playmaker from that right wing, just creates loads of chances for everyone. For me, that's a perfect signing. 2-0 Newcastle as well as their push to stay where they are in the table, or potentially even get sixth if Chelsea start doing stupid things.
Yeah.
Then it's going well. But yeah, I think for me, Elise is a really an incredible footballer and would be a great signing for anyone in that top group. Is he a potential Liverpool signing?
Definitely so, yeah.
Could that be the ideal Sattler replacement? But not the same sort of archetypal fit, but I guess he's not really what Slot likes.
No.
I don't know.
I think that's going to be really interesting.
Isak assists Jacob Murphy.
What happens to Liverpool next year?
Also, this is going to sound stupid, so sorry in chat if you are not a fan of stupidity, but I didn't realise that Jacob Murphy and Josh Murphy were twins.
I knew they were brothers. I didn't know they were twins.
I heard they were twins. That might be wrong anyway. But
They do look
I
like...
saw Josh, I think. Again, I can't tell them
Yeah.
apart. But
Josh
I saw Josh
Oxford.
celebrating the Oxford win, and
Congratulations to them, by the way. That's incredible.
I was convinced Jacob Murphy was went down to Oxford for a week.
Honestly, I never saw Oxford win that game. But yeah, congrats to them. But I think...
Nick Nat says, what next for Phillips on a 6-year contract with City? Loan move to Leeds when they come up
Yeah.
for me. Sorry, I said that to Nick Nack, who's a Southampton fan, but I think Leeds will probably win next Sunday. Who knows?
I just don't
see.
look like a Will Smallbone and think that, they're going to get to the Premier League. And even if they do, I don't look
Bring
like
them
they're
Newcastle.
going to get to the Premier League. They're going to stay in the Premier League.
Yeah. The thing is, I want Southampton Southampton were the original Brighton, in the sense that they used to have. You know what? I'm going to stand behind my point. Alex Isak scored. Lovely. I think they were the original Brighton because they used to have these cool, quirky signings like Graziano Pella, like Dusan Tadic, like Victor Wanyama, like Virgil van Dijk, supplemented by this youth squad with players like James Ward-Prowse coming through. They were the original, punching above their weight club. They should never have been up there, but they were going on European tours, all that sort of stuff. They were the original sort of well-run football club.
Yeah.
While the other teams in the league, all the teams above them would just spuff money up the wall and get nowhere. Southampton would always punch above their weight, but producing talent, finding those wonder kids and then selling them on. And then that sort of just stopped happening for a bit, and they had like Danny Ings for ages. And then the season they went down.
On Aston Villa.
Well, the season they went down, they obviously had like Tino Livramento was there, but he was out for injured. Carl Walker Peters played like that.
They were too reliant on trying to get Adam Armstrong and Che Adams to score goals.
Yeah, I think that was the key thing, wasn't it? They didn't have a striker that could score goals. Che Adams and Armstrong done well in the Championship.
Of course they have, because that's their level. No offence to them, they're not Premier League quality strikers.
2-0 Palace.
And if I'm Sheffield United, I'd look at a Che Adams.
Yeah, Nick Nash says Brighton could go the same way as Saints. You only sell off your best players so long. I think De Zerbi leaving is very telling. Because I think if they want to have a serious go at being a bigger team. You've got to manage when you make that shift correctly for me. And the other thing that's really telling is that James Milner and Welbeck have signed 1 year and 2 year contract extensions. Now, that's not indicative of a club that have really high... I get they've been useful assets for the club, but I don't think either of them are particularly good footballers. It's 1-0 Everton. It's 1-0 Everton. Idrissa Gueye from a direct free kick. I did not have that on my bingo card today. So Mateta scored again. He is incredible now.
Even if City were losing today, Arsenal would have still not won the title, as it stands. That is so bad.
Most Arsenal thing I've ever heard.
That is so bad.
How you can go into the Premier League's final day in the title fight and end up 5 points off.
Unbelievable.
That's Arsenal for you. Here's Kudus looking to cause an issue. But yeah, Paqueta. Oh, hang on. Kudus might actually score. Nice save.
Great save.
Really good stop from Ortega, who is, by the way, despite being a backup goalkeeper, one of the best goalkeepers in the league.
Yeah.
Probably top 10 goalkeepers. But yeah, I think Lucas Paqueta, what do West Ham do now? Because he wanted to move to City. It didn't happen. City, do they still would they want him?
Well, if no one wants him, he hasn't got a choice, has he? But apart from City, who's going to buy him?
Yeah, exactly. I think Paqueta is in the Ivan Toney conundrum where they've become too good too quickly. Paqueta is now worth too much money. Really good free kick, by the way, from Idrissa Gueye. That was not expected. But Paqueta is now worth too much money because nobody has £70 million. And not literally. City have got the backing of a Gulf state. They've got billions upon billions.
They will never run out.
But what I mean is they don't have the FFP. With FFP, in its current iteration, now that might change, but currently teams just can't go out and spend 70 million quid without having to move someone on. So unless they lose Bernardo Silva this summer, which they might, in which case they'll have money to spend, I don't see them making a move for Paqueta, in which case he's sort of stuck at West Ham unless West Ham sell him for less. Yeah. So that seems to be the problem that at the moment the FFP is presenting, is that because the other players in the Premier League are too good, nobody can buy them because they have no room in their FFP budgets. So it's a weird situation. Like Isak at the moment should be in a title-winning team, but that is the quality in the Premier League.
Yeah,
that he wouldn't get in the City team. He'd get in the Arsenal team, but they don't have any money. They don't have 90 million in the FFP budget.
Yeah.
So it's a weird. We're in a weird phase at the moment where, obviously, I understand why we restrict teams because if not, the Premier League is just going to become 20 teams that could all win the Champions League. Which sounds incredible, but it would make European football completely pointless.
Oh, and obviously the lower leagues would get completely cut off.
Well, no, because I don't know, because maybe then the Championship would just become the quality of the Premier League. Because this is the thing, you look at the clubs that are in the Championship now, and they're all like the big clubs. There's some really big clubs in there. A lot of really big clubs in there.
League One, isn't it? League One.
That's what I'm saying. Because Championship is now just like loads of Premier League B teams. Sides that have been in the Premier League over the last 20 years, but now just don't really have the money. But it's going to be, there's so much quality in the Championship. I wouldn't be surprised if the Championship, I think there are teams in the Championship, especially this season, who wouldn't be awful in European competition.
Maybe.
But that's
in the Conference League, yeah.
Exactly. You put that Leicester team. Now, I don't rate Lorenzo Maresca highly. I think that'll be a company 2.0 there. I think that will likely go down, and Leicester will probably sack him sooner, to be fair. But or a tool, which is better than Burnley have managed. But yeah. Nick Knack says Arsenal got one back. Nick Knack says just to be glad City winning. We did okay with Coman. Guy says for a bit, but eventually didn't have the talent. And Nick says, yeah, we sold all our best players. That's why. That's the problem when you do well with a shit team. Yeah, it's a bit like Leicester and Fulham have scored as well, so Luton's fairy tale definitely over. Tomiyasu with a goal for Arsenal. 2-0 Liverpool as well as Jarrell Quansah has scored.
Yeah, scuffed that in from a corner.
There we go. Thank you. But yeah, it's the problem with Leicester, wasn't it? Because they lost everything, and then obviously, they had a lot more issues. COVID obviously impacted their owners. Their owner dying impacted the club a lot as well, and that was obviously a very sad situation. But his son not being as good at running a business. But yeah, I'd be interested to see what happens with Leicester next season. But I don't think they are a Premier League quality squad. They start on -10 points as well, which is a real issue, and they've got investment to do. and I don't rate Maresca particularly highly. He feels like another one, like Company, who plays really fun, exciting, attacking football, but actually that's just going to get shat on in the Premier League when Sean Dyche turns up and scores 2 corners. Then they will go and sit in the box for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and that says, most goals scored ever in a Premier League season. It's incredible. It's in a lot of goals, and again, it's that testament to what we talked about that attacking team.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah.
West Ham corner. Can they hit back?
Not a chance.
Remontada time.
No.
City led 2-0 last year. City were down 2-0.
It's not a thing.
Ball in. No, it's a mess. Mohamed Kudus.
Overhead kick.
Wow. I did not expect to see that. Manchester City 2, West Ham 1.
Wow.
That was the most West Ham goal. They couldn't.
Arsenal
It was a scuffed about in the box, and then Kudus
West Ham
overhead
scored.
kicks it home.
If West Ham and Arsenal would find one more goal each, Arsenal win the Premier League. It's a brilliant goal. It's incredible. Touch, overhead kick, hell of a strike.
I mean, you're saying that City at the other end were contending for Puskas. So's Mohamed Kudus at this end. That felt like the Hull one on the opening day in 2014, where both their players were on the goal line and they both went for another kick and it went in. I think they both scored. But, yeah.
The other thing I want to touch on, and Pep's furious, Huddersfield.
He loves control. Ooh, that's fun.
What, 2017 playoff winners?
Yeah, 20. They're in the. No, later than that. More recent, I mean.
2019.
Yeah, because they were in it. They come up with Fulham and Brentford.
We sit here and they are now in League One next season. Shocking, really.
They come up with Fulham and Brentford. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'm not exactly sure what's happened there. Well, they just don't have any money, do they? But I don't get it. You're in parachute payments. Just sell off your shite players that are on huge contracts. Buy a load of young talent and a good manager. And
John Holgate left last year.
Yeah. Parachute payments are just a cheat code back to the Premier League. But yeah, the Championship is going to be interesting next season because I think you've got your clear contenders, obviously, the 3 sides that have just come down. But I don't think Sheffield United will be there because they have no money or ambition. I think
players that are good.
Luton, I think, will be up there because they recruit smartly.
Yeah.
And they know how to do the Championship. So I think they'll be up there. Norwich, it depends how they bounce back. But if they get if they bring in Liam Rosenior and actually give him a bit of money,
they'll win the league.
They could easily win the league.
Yeah.
So they just got to invest. Players like Marcelino Nunez and Gabriel Sara are really quality players. But then you've got like Ben Gibson and Shane Duffy, who weren't good enough for the Premier League 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So they're obviously not going to be able to compete against those Premier League sides who are at the top of the Championship. You've got like Josh Sargent, who at times is decent, at others he's not. I think Jonathan Rowe, I'd be very surprised if he's not playing Premier League football.
Yeah.
Luton 11, by the way. Carlton Morris scores a pen.
So that now does mean that Luton Town have scored against every single team in the Premier League this season.
Quite an achievement, really. They've taken everyone on. I think that again, that stat does paint the most vivid picture. They have Hashioka every game he played. But yeah, I think it does paint a picture that Luton have given the Premier League a really good go.
Yeah.
So fair play, hats off to them, but ultimately will go down today, and that will be a shame. Well, Luton have conceded now, so it's Fulham 2-1. But yeah, so 4 minutes of additional time in the first half here at the Etihad. City have been the better team, but West Ham giving them something to think about at the end of the half here. Yeah, Nick that's saying Palace 2-0 against Villa. I think we did mention that a while ago. Yeah, so the Championship is always interesting. I'm very intrigued to see who will go up. West Brom's another one. I've no idea how they're even here. I think Carlos Corberan's actually just a really good manager. Haaland's missed another sitter. But yeah, I think Carlos Corberan's is actually a really decent manager. I think Hull are idiots. Because next season, I'd have had them shoo-ins for the playoffs and possible autos. So why on earth had sacked Rosenior? I mean, it's indicative of the whole... It's that Turkish geezer, I forget his name. He was on the radio the other day, acting like a weapon. But, because it basically he was saying, I didn't like the football we were playing. And it's like, well, to be honest, mate, you have no footballing background. Why are you making that judgment call? I think Coventry were really unlucky not to make playoffs this year. I think that they're quite a good team. We saw that the year before when they almost won the playoff final. Who else is in the conversation? As I say, I think Middlesbrough could be up there. Carrick just signed a contract extension. I think that's quite a good thing.
Yeah.
I think he's a good coach. Who else is in there at the moment? Who's like ninth? Have a look at the Championship.
Yeah.
Just looking at anyone who could come back.
Blackburn are
forwards next season.
I'm trying to see what they can do next season with what's his oh my days.
Is it not John
Eustace? John Eustace.
Oh yeah, that's a good appointment to be fair.
Yeah. He kept winning the league in the end. That'd be massive.
Well, yeah. To be fair, no, I've spoken about all the clubs that matter because 10th is Preston, 11th is Bristol City, so they're not going anywhere. I don't see a remontage. I don't see Cardiff, Millwall, Swansea, Watford, Sunderland, Stoke, QPR, Blackburn making a huge run at the playoffs.
No.
Sheffield Wednesday. They were really good to be fair under Danny Ryle. No idea how they've stayed up because they were crap all year.
Birmingham and Huddersfield are absolute shite. And that's the end. Two massive teams in League One next season.
Yeah, League One looks ridiculous. Do you think that Birmingham will win it?
No, because they'll do something stupid. They won't buy any good footballers and they'll be absolutely rubbish.
Yeah. So I was just looking through their squad for any
Bolton
good
will be out
footballers.
back again. I'm shocked how Bolton aren't promoted. You know, yeah, I don't know. It'll be really interesting. I really am looking forward to it. I know this is horrible. I know it seems weird to say on the Premier League final day, but I'm really looking forward to seeing all the leagues next season.
And no, I completely agree. I think we've got some really... I think the English football pyramid deserves its plaudits. I think there is just nothing like it. You know, maybe the closest you've got is the Bundesliga, I'd argue. Because I think the Zwei Bundesliga is very good. I think that they're again, though, because Germany have a really good structure. But the Spanish leagues are just loads of big clubs that have no money anymore. Like, I think... Was it... Blue team, can't think of their name. Espanyol just got promoted back up to the second tier. I was like, how are they in the third tier? That's what stunned me. But they had like Lucas Perez, who was playing for like 20 quid a week. That sounds silly like that because he wanted to get his boy club back up into the second tier. But yeah, might not be Espanyol. Some blue team. I'm gonna find out now. But yeah.
Maybe we do have
Lucas Perez doesn't exist. There we go. Deportivo La Coruña, that was it.
There you go.
Blue kit, not blue badge. But yeah, because obviously they were Champions League quarter finalists in the 2003 season, something like that. I want to say.
Yeah.
And yet now they're third tier, just promoted back up to second tier.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's half time.
There we go.
Could get a drink.
Wonderful stuff. Half time here at the Etihad. Manchester City lead West Ham by 2-1. Of course, they are, as it stands, your Premier League champions for a historic fourth consecutive year in a row. Over at the Emirates, Arsenal is still 1-1 with Everton, which is not great. Guy says Birmingham sacking Robinson to hired Rooney was also a head scratcher too. Do you mean Eustace, Gary? Yeah, that was just mind-bogglingly stupid because they were right up there, and then they decided, you know what, we're just gonna go and get Wayne Rooney, who has no experience managing at this level, some experience, but very little experience, and has none success at this level. We got Derby relegated. Yes, Derby weren't in a great position at all, but still, when you're pushing for the playoffs, it's not exactly the CV you want to be looking at, you know. But I don't know, I have no idea why anyone would think, you know what, we're doing really well, let's come and replace our manager with Wayne Rooney, who I saw the other day is, I think, 10th favourite for the next England manager. But yeah, to be fair, I don't think bookies is exactly the most trusted source, but Wayne Rooney as England manager would be hilarious. I think that's amazing for Oxford to get into the Championship. Yeah, and that's for me, stories like Oxford, like Luton Town, like Lincoln City, probably the most recent examples. For me, they're the greatest indicator of the success of the football pyramid. The fact that we have got so many stories like that of clubs that were in the lower leagues or were in non-leagues and they've pushed up through the pyramid. Sides that have been stuck in League One, League Two for like 20 years, and then they push up into the Championship because it all just clicks one season. For me, that's why England's football pyramid is the best, because there is such history to it, and I love it for that reason. I think that's why you can go and watch any game in English football at any tier, and it's going to be enjoyable. I know people that just went to the playoff finals because it's the playoff finals. They're an exciting thing. We go and watch non-league football, me and Harry, every weekend because it's enjoyable to go and watch. And yeah, I think England football pyramid, incredible stuff. And Nick says, makes me smile when teams get relegated after sacking their manager unjustly. Karma in action. Yeah, you know what? I can agree with you there. I think the decision to sack John Lucius was absolutely awful. It just feels like I don't get why owners come in and think they know what they're doing. Like, I can understand, football is a business like anything else, but there's so many unique elements. But people come in and they go, I know what I'm doing. And then they do something stupid, like the Hull guy. I don't know, I forget what his name is. The Birmingham owner. Anyone who's been at Everton over the last decade, I've no idea what they're still in the Premier League. But it's just just hire people who know what they're doing, who specialise in areas of the football club, who have experience in this industry, rather than thinking you know it all. That's why, Ipswich Town have flown through the two divisions, because rather than the owners coming in and going, well, I'm going to just go be the manager now, or something stupid like that, they brought in Kieran McKenna, who was recommended to them by their director of football, who knows what he's doing. It's just, yeah. It says Foden up there with Ollie Watkins for goals scored this season. Yeah, Foden's had a fantastic season, hasn't he? I think someone who has always been this incredible talent, but because until this season he didn't play every minute for City, or didn't play the majority of minutes for City, his numbers weren't always at the top of the list. So I think there's always, stats, therefore you go, well, he's only scored this many goals, he can't be that great. But this season I think he's finally been handed an important or crucial role in that England team. In the City team. He should be in the England team. That's what I was going to want to say. But yeah, obviously Haaland leading the way in goals, then Palmer 22, Isak 21. That's the sort of form that should land you a spot in a good team. But I don't know who signs Isak this summer. I mean, clubs like Barcelona should be looking at him, but Barcelona have no money at all. So that'll be interesting to see. Dom Solanke is another one who 19 goals in the Premier League is absolutely ridiculous. I don't think many big clubs should be looking at him, but someone like a West Ham definitely should be. Anyway, Guy says, as a half-time aside, did you McLaren's pace today? You see McLaren's pace, I assume that is. Really happy Lando's Miami win was not just a one-off. Yeah, Lando was awesome today, says Nick Knack. You know what? Yeah, little F1 interlude as I watch Foden's goal again, but yeah, Lando, very, very good performance, and it's very exciting for Formula One. As a Max Verstappen fan, not too pleased, but it's very exciting for F1 to have some competition. The last few seasons, a lot of people have switched off from the sport because it's not very interesting, because the same guy wins it every time, Verstappen. But yeah, Lando Norris, I think, and McLaren have built a brilliant car. They could actually start competing for races. I still think Max will win this year's title, because he's got such a head start, but you never know. If McLaren keep developing at the rate they are, maybe they can give this a serious go. Anyway, welcome back to the stream, Harry.
Do you want to go out?
I will, yes. I will go and breathe again. Nick now says Solanke's contract until 2027, so it would take a big fee to prize him away. Yeah, and I guess Bournemouth probably have quite strong ambitions as well. I think they'll be hoping they can make a run towards Europe next season, especially given United are so poorly run, and Brighton have got to sign players and find a manager. Yeah. And who else is in there? West Ham are bringing in Julian Lopetegui and need to sign a lot of players. Bournemouth are the most settled there, so 7th could definitely be theirs. And if the Premier League, or if English sides can perform in Europe, they'll likely have 5th place.
Yeah.
As a Champions League spot. So there's definitely something to be considered there. I'm going to go take a breather and leave Harry to talk about this, a red kick from Mohamed Kudus, and only that.
Belter. I mean, I don't know if I mentioned it, but dare I even suggest the fact that the title race is still on.
I've not spoken about anything like that. Just other stuff.
Technically, the title race is still alive here. And I know it's a long shot, but it's a possibility. And that's the main thing I'm holding out hope here. Because if West Ham score and Arsenal score, then Arsenal win the Premier League. And that is, that's what we've got to consider here. We've got to look at this as a whole, and we've got to understand that there's a chance that happens today. So, who knows? We're going to find out. Foden's been brilliant. City have been beautiful. But that kudos effort, that overhead kick, which is absolutely brilliant, is what is giving me hope and keeping this title race alive while Arsenal are over there drawing to Everton. Shock horror. But yeah, I do think in terms of the next season, the Premier League is going to be very, very competitive. I think we're going to have a top 10 where anyone can beat anyone. I look at it now. Chelsea could go to Tottenham, United, Newcastle, Villa, Tottenham, and get a result. But even maybe could Palace be a side that can do that? Could we see a Crystal Palace side that can rock up at Tottenham, at Newcastle, at Chelsea, at Liverpool, and get a result on merit? That might be a possibility next season, and that's something we need to look forward to. And who knows where it's going to take us. But I do think in terms of the competitiveness of the Premier League, it is definitely a step in the right direction to have a league where teams can beat other teams. And that's what we want to see. Nick was saying, can see Arsenal winning, but West Ham equaliser would be verging on miracle territory. I mean, yeah, it would be. And obviously, if West Ham equalise, they then have to hold on and hope Arsenal win quite decently. So yeah, I know it's a long shot. It is a long shot, but it's a possibility, and that's what we have to consider. Chelsea win the league. Precious money into the stream, by the way. Chelsea will win next season. If Chelsea were to win next season, I will get a picture of Pochettino tattooed on my arm, because that would be incredible. I don't think we will, but that would be incredible, and I will do that. Mark my words, if Chelsea win the league next season, I will get a Mauricio Pochettino tattoo, because that would be sensational if he managed to win the league with Chelsea next season against the other sides in the league. Who do you think that are the top three overachievers this season? That is a very, very good question. I think, are we talking overachievers in terms of they've got lucky, or overachievers in terms of merit? Because if it's merit, then I'd probably, I think Aston Villa. I think, the problem is, I think I have to do both. Because United have overachieved, but because they've got lucky. West Ham, for me, have overachieved because they've got lucky at times. Whereas Villa, they've played very well, but I think they have overachieved slightly. Fourth, probably should have been theirs. Tottenham could have kept up their form. It's a season where United and Chelsea are really struggling. Newcastle weren't as good as they were last year, nor were Brighton. I do think they've got quite fortunate there. But yeah, I'll see what I would say Villa, Bournemouth, Everton actually scrapped that. Hang on, sorry, it's cut off on this side. Sorry. But yeah, let me have a look on here. I'll say Villa actually scrapped that. Villa, Palace, and Bournemouth. Fair enough. As well as yeah. Everton. Everton. I'd say I agree that you've changed that, because obviously they've got a points deduction, so it's a hard one to judge. Palace, I think if you'd asked me now, I think definitely the way they've brought Glasner in and the improvement in performance has been absolutely brilliant. Yeah, Bournemouth the same. Again, they're a side that maybe we expected to see closer towards the bottom, and after obviously they were bottom of the league after a few game weeks, weren't they? So yeah, I think I think you've smashed it there, mate. Yeah. Yes. Top three overachieving sides: Villa, Bournemouth, and Palace. In terms of what was expected.
I think I called Bournemouth. You know what? Fun game.
What?
I'm going to try and find my predictions for the start of the season.
Yeah, I might have mine somewhere.
I think I have it saved.
Shall we have a look what we at half
I'll see how close we got.
Let's have a look. How close?
I don't want to do the whole video of let's react to us. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I can't be bothered. But we can talk about it now, because I think I still have it saved in my notes somewhere. But anyway, do you want to...
Yeah, sorry.
Talk about while we just scroll through our notes.
I haven't got mine, so that's alright. But yeah, I mean... And Yellow saying that was a stream, mate. Top 3 streamers, I'd say Man United, Brighton, and Sheffield United. Sheffield United, I mean, they're crap. Yeah, sure. United 100%. I mean, they've even they shouldn't even be where they are now. They should be a lot lower. And who's the other one you said? Brighton. I think they'll be disappointed. They're just inside the top 10. I think they want Europe. They would have really wanted Europe, and the fact they didn't get that will be disappointing for them. It really will.
Right.
Found it.
Yeah, I've got all the different predictions. We did first manager to be sacked, signing of the season, top goal scorer, top assister, Golden Glove, player of the season, young player of the season. So do you want to do those first? We've got first manager to be sacked. I didn't even give you the option because you were drinking.
Sorry.
First manager to be sacked. I said David Moyes.
Oh,
I think they should have sacked him though. So, well, he got sacked in the end. Well, he's left, doesn't he? Signing of the season, I said Jackson. Little bit off there, to be fair. I said top scorer Haaland. That was fairly obvious. Top assister Foden. I don't think that was too bad. Prediction: Foden top assister.
No,
That's too bad. Player of the season Erling Haaland. Young player of the season Nicholas Jackson. So I was off of both those. Chelsea player young player of the season though, so I'm taking that. Golden Glove I went Onana, which I'm going to reflect upon and come back next year. Predictions. Right. Bottom of the league. Sheffield United.
Well done.
One from one.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
19th I had Nottingham Forest.
Nah.
So that didn't come off. I had Wolves in 18th.
That's not nice. That's very rude.
They should have been down there, to be fair. Luton Town 17th, so one position off there. Unless they scored 700 goals in the second half. And Burnley turned around. I had 16th Brentford. That's only one position off.
Yes,
So without Everton points deduction,
All right,
I smashed that.
Okay, yeah.
Fulham, 15th. One place off. Without Everton's points deduction, smash that. 14th Burnley. So this is where it starts to fall apart. Then 13th West Ham. Only a couple of places off there.
Yeah, not too bad.
12th Crystal Palace. Smashed it. Out the park. I think they're 12th.
Yes.
11th.
Or 11th. Yeah, you are. Yes.
Just going to get the table up. I've got Everton 11th. Without the points deduction, I don't think I'm far off there. I don't think that's far off at all. 10th Bournemouth.
Yeah.
And if you doubt these predictions, you go back and watch the video from the start of the year. I love Anthony Areola. I backed him to the hill. I slightly doubt that prediction after 10 games. But ultimately, it looks like it's going to come true. 9th Brighton. Not too far off there. I think they're slightly lower than that now, but still, not too far off. Aston Villa 8th. I didn't call they were going to get Champions League football, to be honest. 7th Newcastle, which is going to be correct, we expect. 6th Tottenham, again, I was a little off there. 5th Arsenal. I don't know... I don't know what I was thinking with that one, to be honest.
And where have you got Chelsea?
I had United 4th, Chelsea 5th.
Wow, hello.
I don't know which of those is worse. Probably the United one.
Yeah.
I don't know what I thought was going to happen this season
No.
for United, but I had them 4th.
So I think you were right in the mid-pack. Bit dodgy towards the bottom, bit dodgy towards the top.
Well, I'm pretty City would win the league.
You were
Liverpool second to place off. I overestimated Chelsea, but I still think they've done really well this season. Completely overestimated Man United. They've been crap.
Yeah.
I underestimated Arsenal, and I didn't think Tottenham would be as good as they are. But ultimately, Tottenham, I'd only be one place off. So I don't think that's too bad.
Yeah.
Finish 6th, they're going to finish 5th. Villa, I don't think many people would have predicted them getting Champions League. So
actually, that shows how well they did.
I think that's too bad. But yeah. Good shout, Jack. Thank you. 2-0 Chelsea as well.
Come on.
Oh, hang on. If we switch over quickly, we might be able to see.
Nicholas Jackson.
Be Palmer, because I've captained Palmer, yeah. Shows how well they've done exactly. He scored a... do you know what I'm saying? Do you remember Egil Ostenstead knick-knack?
Yeah, and then
Looks like we break.
Gallagher. What does he do with it? Oh, no.
Palmer, Cucurella. Oh, look at this liquid football. Palmer down the line for Sterling. Into Jackson, surely. No, Sterling's going to run in the corner.
Palmer.
To Palmer. Oh, no.
Oh.
To Gallagher.
Wait.
There we go. Brentford got one back. 3-1 Newcastle. Nick, that's just not too shabby, Jack. Thank you. Oh, he's just playing that one. Fair enough. But yeah, no, I'm quite happy with those predictions.
No, that wasn't too bad.
I don't think I got... other than... The big ones are Everton, but I didn't think they were going to get points deduction, to be fair. And Villa. But I don't think anyone predicted that. And Arsenal, to be fair. I don't think that was great. But yeah, other than that... Oh, and Burnley, but everyone said they were going to do well. They probably... Let's go back.
I have no goal from Flecken.
He doesn't even play for them. So I don't know how he's managed that.
Neto.
Oh,
Own
God,
goal
Max
from Neto.
Aarons.
Oh, dear, yeah. Dodgy. 2-0 Chelsea. They should
I'll be honest,
moving
that
on.
is a footballer I'd completely forgotten was there.
Max Aarons.
When did Max Aarons end up at Bournemouth? I remember him being linked with Liverpool when Norwich were in the Premier League in 2020. I remember being linked with Liverpool. Say that didn't materialise, but he is in the Premier League, so... it's also 3-1 Fulham, so that dream is over. Janelt scored for Brentford. Bournemouth have got one back, so that's awful. Palmer got the assist for Sterling's goal at least, so that's something. But yeah, Bournemouth get one back.
That's not good.
I don't want to flick on and watch that. I do actually. I want to know how we defended it.
Oh,
Nothing's happening at City, mate.
All right.
No, they scored.
No,
They
but-
might score again.
Yeah.
Honestly, how Bournemouth scored a goal. If he just hits it from there, I'm not too annoyed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Bowling.
Kukureya
Who now?
forgot to
Oh,
defend
no,
and it
deflect off
flicked off
Badiashile.
Badiashile. Well, Kukureya's also got to be a bit closer
Yeah,
to him
that
there.
wasn't great. Never mind. Chelsea did their best.
Don't do
Now,
anything more
If
stupid.
West Ham score, do we start to get excited? If we're
Um,
after a drawing at the moment, it doesn't matter. Can you?
I started to get very interested.
Yes, but we need Arsenal to start doing something.
Surely Arsenal will win, says Nick Nack. That's a bold assumption. Very bold assumption. Sterling got the goals to Chelsea fan.
Yeah,
Oh, that's good for him.
there's a handball in there from Kudus, and they will move on. But yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of way to go. We've got 45 minutes left of the 23-24 season. Can't wait.
All right. I've got a question.
Love it.
Who is the signing of the season? Everyone in chat get involved as well.
Ooh, Palmer. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Honourable mentions then, because that's a boring conversation. Because I also think it's Cole Palmer.
Okay. Honourable mention.
For me, I would have Josko Gvardiol up in there. I think he's been a real
that's
game
fair.
changer for City.
That's fair.
Nick Nack says, has Sterling been that bad this season? 8th PL goal. Yes, but he infuriates me, Nick Nack,
just
because
runs into
he
corners.
runs into corners and he's paid 300,000 a week for 8 goals. Like, people mock Jackson because he's not scored enough this season. He's missed chances, but Sterling's just infuriating. £300,000 a week. Someone ship him off to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Just, thank you. Other shout for best signing of the season, Adam Wharton.
Literally, I was about to say.
So there we go.
Yeah, he was very good. Who else have we had this?
Nick Nack says Rice looks a good buy. I think it's really difficult to ever say £100 million signing is signing of the season because you can't ever equate that value. No, I don't think anyone could ever go, well, he's worth 100 million. Maybe
Yeah.
Bellingham, Rice, you could I think maybe I'm gonna just completely ignore my own argument there because I think maybe you can with Bellingham and Rice, but I don't know. I think it's difficult because you're always going to go, well, look at what Wharton's done at Palace for a fraction of the fee. So it's difficult for those sorts of players. But yeah, Rice does look a good signing. I think that is a game-changing addition, to be fair.
Yeah.
And that's, we talk about how Arsenal want to get close to City. You need those ceiling-raising signings.
Yeah.
And to go from Xhaka to Rice, for me, is a huge upgrade. And
Yeah.
for Xhaka to go from Arsenal to Bayer Leverkusen is a huge upgrade. So everyone won.
Yeah, exactly. He won a trophy.
But yeah, apart from Robert Andrich. But he's still at Bayer Leverkusen, so I don't think he'll care that he's playing less. Gary says, Rice is a great buy. I also think we got a glimpse of Havertz's potential in the last third of the season. Palmer was a fantastic buy.
Mentioned Van de Ven there as well. Yeah, that's a good. I think Van de Ven didn't get injured as well. De Bruyne.
Oh.
Swide.
Who else is in there? Nick says, uh-oh. What's happened, Nick Nack?
Oh dear. Has something happened? Who? What? Where?
I don't know, I'm looking around
I'm loving all the different emojis.
I'm looking around the
that appear
Premier
coming in
League.
Chat. Keep them coming in.
Yeah, Gary's having a great time spamming us. I predict against Gary.
Yeah.
Man City turned out to be the wrong club for Palmer, where he would never be first pick. I think he wouldn't have got the minutes he wants, but
No.
I think he eventually would have, but he wouldn't have this season. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
I also don't think he'd have been given the freedom. I think the free role that Chelsea give him is why he's so productive. I think he's so much better in attack midfield where he could just sort of run around and make things tick than he's on the flank. At City, he'd have been another system player. He'd have been a Grealish type. We get it over here. Oh, I don't want to take the player. I'm going to turn around and pass it back.
Yeah.
Ultimately, he's flourished with minutes, game time, and increased responsibility. So for me, yeah, perfect move for him, and perfect time for Chelsea. Is anything happening, by the way, in Manchester United's game? Because
I was like, I haven't had a peep.
it's an hour.
Brighton
It's at
United.
the hour mark, and it's 0-0.
Another shot put wide there from Phil Foden with his hat trick.
Let's have a look at the stats. Brighton have been all over him.
I'm not surprised.
57% possession to 43%, 1.47 XG to 0.29, 14 shots to 5, 3 on target to 2, and the match momentum graph is just blue, with occasional little spikes of red.
12 goals and assists from 30 appearances, many of which were sub, isn't too bad. Who's that?
3-0 Palace.
Wow. Villa clearly on the beach already.
I was going to say, get ready for the Champions League.
You know,
Eze scored.
yeah.
Luna got one back.
FPL point.
There we go.
That's good for them.
Here's De
They
Bruyne.
level now then.
Who?
Luton.
No, 3-2.
Oh, 3-1 down.
Raul Jimenez scored right on the
Blimey.
start of the half.
He's an half foot right. Forgot
He's on a brace today.
Wow.
But yeah.
Sterling, alright. Yeah. I know.
yeah.
I mean, Palace, I honestly think... I mean, I know we say they're a force to be reckoned with in terms of I'm thinking, they could get 8. Is there a chance they could massively overachieve and get bigger? Because
Palace.
in an ideal world where Liverpool are unknown, Tottenham could really fall off, United are falling off further, Chelsea are an unknown.
Yeah, I would have said yes, but I think losing Dougie Friedman will be a huge loss.
Yeah.
Because I think he was one of the best directors of football in the Premier League. He's someone who really highly rates the Championship, and we saw them buy so many bargains over the years, like in the squad now, Eze Elise, and Adam Morton, of course, the most recent example. All players that have come up through the Championship, and he's bought them directly from the Championship.
Yeah.
I think it very much depends who they bring in next. I don't know who it's going to be, and when they do sign someone, I probably won't know them either. But
Yeah.
I think whoever's got to come in has just got to keep up that same ethos of buy cheap and smart signings.
Yeah.
I think Glasner's a great coach. Nick Knack says if Palace had Glasner all season, they'd be top 5. I don't think they would be.
Europe?
Possibly. It's difficult to say, isn't it? Because maybe he'd had a similarly difficult run to see. Similarly difficult start to the season, and we'd be talking about him being a big flop. But I don't know. I don't think you can make very good judgments. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. I think Palace have done very well in this end of the season, but you've got to consider a bit of, I know people go, it's not just a new manager bounce. It might not be, but there's no way of saying that yet. A lot of Palace's success has come because he's instilled this positivity and belief in the players. We did a video on it a few weeks ago, and from all my research, everyone involved in the club, all the insiders, talk about how he's been a real breath of fresh air. Now, I don't think he has such a profound impact unless you have Hodgson in there for so long.
Maybe he's got really good breath.
Maybe. Yeah, he's got a Mints sponsorship or something.
On the flip side of that, their opposition Aston Villa, I think obviously brilliant year. Top 4 is incredible. I have 2 things. The fact they didn't win the Conference League will be very disappointing. We saw this West Ham side do it. How Villa didn't do it, I will never know. And the other thing for me is we saw how Newcastle did this season when they got into the Champions League. I'm intrigued to see what will happen to Villa. Will they drop off similarly, or will they manage to stay up there in the top 4, keep fighting at the front?
Yeah, Villa need to... The big difference is that Aston Villa have a little more wriggle room in the FFP budget, so they can invest. The other difference is that Aston Villa have already contended with a European calendar this year, and so we know relatively that their players will be able to handle that.
And that's the,
Obviously, the European calendar does have 2 extra games, provided they just in the group stage. So that is going to be difficult, but I don't think it's too much of a step up to deal with in the fixtures. It's going to be more challenging, but I guess we'll see. The big question is, can they build a squad that is good enough to be in the Champions League next? And what does that look like? Who do they need to sign?
Because they've got the manager. For me, they've got the manager.
Yeah, and I think they've got the play style, and they've got a lot of very, very good footballers. But if Chelsea do actually, fulfil what, build on their promise that they've shown this season, if Tottenham can sign a striker and stop conceding loads of goals, that would be helpful. If Newcastle come back, I think the fight for 4th could be even tighter than the fight for 1st.
Yeah.
Next season. So I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal had... I think Liverpool will drop. So there might be another space in the top 4. I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool dropped off. I think Arsenal will probably still be up in 2nd. I wouldn't see them dropping. But I don't know if they'll be as close with City.
Yeah.
I don't see City going anywhere. I'm sorry, I hate to say it. I don't. It's just not going to happen, is it? But, yeah. Nick says Chelsea are third in the form table for the last 12 games. And exactly, so maybe Chelsea will come back. Maybe next season, I think, could be a really good season for Chelsea. I'd love to see us in Champions League football again. But whether that is through winning...
Should win Europa League.
Europa League.
You have to win the Europa League for me.
De Bruyne steps up and it's
really
blocked.
should.
Yeah, but please don't get rid of Poch.
Yeah.
Don't sign anyone over the age of 40. Don't buy more than 3 players.
Yeah. If we buy a middle midfielder...
No, I wouldn't. I would disagree there. Unless, well, it depends.
If we don't sell anyone and we bring in a midfielder, we are idiots.
It depends whether Lavia and Ugachuk were ever going to come back. Because for me, this season we're struggling in midfield because we've had 3 players.
We've got Gallagher, Chukwuemeka...
Well, Carney's been injured all season anyway, and he can't play in the pivot.
Caicedo.
Carney can't play in the pivot.
He can play...
Let's just make that clear.
He can play
The pivot, for me, this season, the best pivot has arguably been Gallagher and Caicedo, but you would probably say Caicedo and Enzo. And then Gallagher as an option. I don't think Gallagher will start in attack midfield next season. I think it'll probably be Palmer with Nkunku rotating between left wing and attack midfield. So you've got a bit of rotation there. So I don't think we need a left winger because I think Nkunku will start the big games there and Mudryk will start other games and then we'll just have that rotation. I think we need a striker to offer a competition to Jackson, but not necessarily a starter, I wouldn't say. I would look at a goalkeeper, and if the right fit becomes available, I would potentially go for that.
Yeah.
And we need to assess Wesley Fofana, and if he's never going to play football again, let's sign a centre half who is going to play football. Because I think in Badia, Chile and Colwell, you've got a really solid rotations there at left centre half, both really good players. But at right centre half, Chalobah and Disasi, I'd want one more in there. And I think Fofana could be that player, but he's not played football now for 13 months. And he won't play football again until the new season. If ever.
Yeah.
He's had another setback, so he hasn't been able to play the last few games of this one. So I really have no idea what's going on there.
Does feel something dodgy going on, doesn't it?
Yeah, buy some physios, for God's sake. Nick says, Man United are 14th, Brighton 17th in that form table. United are awful. Guys asks, Nick Nax first says, surely Poch will stay on now. Would be daft to get rid of him.
No, if there's something...
Mate, I was going to say...
things.
Chelsea board and daft things go hand in hand, but Chelsea's ultimatum was Europa League. He has got that now. So I don't think he's at any risk, in my opinion. He shouldn't be.
No.
I think Newcastle will probably go piss the Conference League as well, by the way, next season. Because their squad is way too strong for that.
100%.
Gary says, where does Zerbi off to, you think? Nick Nack debating it, saying maybe Napoli. I think if he's going Serie A, it'll be Milan. Or Juventus, but I think that'll be Motta. For me, I think looks most likely to go Bayern.
They thought he wasn't going there now.
Well, he wasn't because they couldn't pay his compensation fee. But guess what's just happened? There's no compensation fee. So, well, exactly. That's why he's quit, isn't it? Because whoever wants him doesn't want to pay Brighton 20 million. So we'll go and get another job, and then Brighton will probably sue that club, or they might just not get around to it. Here is De Bruyne. Because for Brighton, if he does go to Bayern, he'll probably want Mitoma, and then suddenly, Rodgers just scored a weird goal. He just shot an area and forgot he needed to save it.
That's the tight
But no, I don't see De Zerbi going to Napoli just because they don't have money. And they're not Champions League, are they, next season?
No.
They've got no Europe, actually, I think. They're 8th, I want to say, in this area. Because they thought, you know what we're going to do? We're going to sign Walter Materazzi. Whatever his name is.
City champions again.
So Serie A finished weeks ago because they haven't played this weekend.
They did. Milan played Torino.
Oh yeah, they're playing now. Oh, it's just they don't play it all at the same time for some bizarre reason. Inter playing Lazio now. But to be fair, there's nothing. Inter upon the league by 19 points. Yeah, sorry, Napoli are 10th.
Wow, absolutely shocking.
So I don't know why De Zerbi would go there. There's better options out there than a Napoli side who have no European football.
Thing is, we say the title race is over here. Arsenal drawing to Everton.
Yeah, I can do one.
Ario should save that.
Relegate Arsenal for not competing on the final day.
Final day, you're in a title fight and you're drawing to Everton at home.
Yeah.
Leave.
Now it says, bit of a gamble taking De Zerbi on for a top team. With the right investment, I think he's the perfect sort of big team manager.
Yeah.
I think a lot of of people were starting to discredit De Zerbi, and because this season hasn't been very good, but his system is very specific, and you can't play his system with Milner at left back.
Yeah.
Or and they've got no Miedema and players like
is
that.
Going to work?
What do you mean?
That your tactic and your style only works when you have the 11 players you want.
It'll work at a big club who have two players for every position. Brighton have been shoehorning Milner in at every fullback, centre half, all over the shop. Jack Hinshelwood in the academy played right back for half the season. They've had such an injury issue this season, Brighton, because they've spent no money buying backups.
Yeah.
So Milner's basically been their backup for every spot. But no, I think at Bayern, if they give him investment, which I know is difficult because they've got no money and they're currently overgoing a huge change, then they could be good. I think any team with Harry Kane should win the Bundesliga, let's be honest. They've got Sane, I think, will work quite nicely in a De Zerbi system. I think they've got a really nice centre-back partnership if Kim and Jay can work out how to play football again.
Yeah.
Because he was incredible for Napoli, and now he's not anymore. So how did that happen overnight? 3-0 Tottenham, by the way.
Wow.
It's also 4-0 Crystal Palace. Mateta completes his hat-trick. Eze assist, but it's pending VAR.
Oh, come on.
Who scored for Tottenham?
Hang on.
It is...
I don't
know
know.
yet.
My FPL team. No, I got rid of him. Oh, I don't.
Dejan Kulusevski scores again.
Wow.
Shall we have a look? My FPL team isn't doing wildly successfully, to be honest. 54 points at the moment. Oh, Odegaard got an assist. That helps. Trent clean sheet. Gvardiol's oh no, he's not on a clean sheet, is he? Mug. So yeah, not going wonderfully.
No.
I feel like Friday always goes awfully for me in FPL. You are on 51 and you don't have Konza. Mateta's on your bench.
That's right, I play bench boost.
If Mateta's goal does count and Eze got the assist, then suddenly you're going to shoot up.
Yeah, you've also got him.
Who?
You.
I don't have Mateta.
Do you not?
I got no passwords.
Why not?
I had Mateta on a free hit one week.
Oh, right.
And I was stuck with my knees, and I could have gone Mateta today, but I thought I'd gamble on Gakpo because Klopp will want to win on his final day. Turns out he doesn't. So, that's good. Anyway.
Yeah.
Is there anything we haven't spoken about over the last hour?
I don't know. Has anyone got any questions?
The game?
What do you want to talk about?
I've quite enjoyed this, where it's not been commentary based.
I doubt what's the trophy is.
What?
I doubt what's the trophy is.
Don't want to see them lift up. Oh, look, we won the league again.
Can't
We did it. To be fair, yesterday Chelsea won the fifth consecutive WSL, and we were jumping up and down for joy.
Yeah, but like, I don't know.
But yeah, no, I just don't care about City. If Arsenal had won it, definitely sticking around for that.
It's like, oh
That's not
wow.
done it in years.
It's like they went and I doubt they'll celebrate. Can't what was I've done it again.
I do just find City celebrating so plastic.
Because I get bored. Like it's like when
I know,
it's like an F1 when Verstappen celebrates a race.
Yeah, you go, yay!
He goes, oh, the car's nice.
It's done it again. But
Yeah. But then I look at because I watched the way
just like City when Foden scored, he looked so excited. It just feels like, what are you doing, mate? You play for Man City.
But
Obviously,
the way
you
they
scored.
celebrate like winning the
I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird.
way-
but I don't like that.
Like, and then I watched the way Oxford celebrated yesterday when they got the
Yeah, exactly. It feels emotional,
Yeah.
doesn't it? It feels real. Nick Nack says something like 10 goals in the last 8 for Mateta. Yeah, he's the best striker in the world. Everyone should buy Mateta for 90 million.
United.
They will.
Yeah,
won't they?
Hoyland up front.
That's the one thing they don't need is a striker. But they do need to work out what they're going to do with Hoyland. Because I don't think they
he's
know.
Okay.
I think he's a very good player, but they don't know what to do with him.
Yeah,
Just like
right.
all of their system last season relied on Wout Weghorst. And then they got rid of Wout Weghorst, and now they're awful.
Hashtag bring back Vegas.
Yeah. Well, no, but that's why I think Garassi could work at United. But Stuttgart will demand a high fee because they need him in Europe next season.
Yeah.
Also, it's a shame that Stuttgart's manager, Highness, isn't it? He's signed a new deal. Which, good for him, but bad for Bayern and bad for anyone who wanted to see Highness in the Premier League. Because he's a really good coach, clearly. He got Stuttgart second. But with a striker who'd never scored more than 10 goals before in a season, and Dennis Under, they were his striking options.
Crazy.
And it all came together. But 4-2 Fulham. I love final days. There's only one game that's 0-0, and we all could have predicted that because it's Man United. But other than that, 3-0 Tottenham, 3-1 Man City, 4-2 Fulham, 2-0 Liverpool and a red card on that one, 4-0 Palace, 2-1 Chelsea, 2-0 Forest, 3-1 Newcastle, Everton, Arsenal's a shit show, 1-0 for Arsenal is at least.
Embarrassing, they don't deserve the title.
Haaland, it's blocked by
For the pure
Zuma.
reason they're not winning right
And
now.
Brighton and Man United can piss off. Varane gets on in his last game for 20 minutes. Where's he going? Saudi?
I bet he's going to cry when that game finishes, eh? The Leeds United.
Gary says Mateta is an old school, big target man type striker. He's huge and doesn't look at all mobile, but he has an absolute rocket of a shot. Mate, I really like Mateta. I like his celebration.
Yeah.
He feels like a blast in the past. He feels like a Barclays striker. Like those Barclays era, you're going to try and think of an example.
Vidra.
No, that's Premier League.
Oh, sorry.
Your 2000 sort of strikers.
Well, Haaland's just missed another open goal.
Your Crespos, your Drogbas,
Bloody
your
hell, right?
Anelkas. But even smaller than that, like
Andy Cole.
your Adebayors, your Bonies, your
Defoe.
United have scored.
Oh, that's boring.
Burnley has scored.
Oh, that's even more boring.
Dallas scored for United. As for Burnley's last Premier League goal for this season, perhaps I got 5.
Oh my days.
Earth is
Mateta. Go on.
Jose.
Oh, come on.
So set up by Mateta.
Oh,
What on earth
come
is going on over there?
I mean, Villa, what's going on?
Yeah, they do need to
They're on
sort
the
that
beach. They're on the
They're
beach.
not there. What team are they playing? That's full strength other than Duran.
Oh, it's Robin Olsen.
Oh, and Callum Chambers was playing in midfield.
Oh, there we go then.
He had to come off after 69 minutes.
Because he's shite.
And then Timo Rugbenham and Kelly Man are on there.
Alright, so yeah.
The
Emery.
bench is all youth players.
Oh, City fans are doing the Poznan. I hate them. I really just dislike Man City so much.
They don't even watch football, do they?
No.
They're just there.
They score a goal, they'll turn around. Miss the rest of the game.
Useless. Oh crap, Man U have scored, says Nick Nat. Yeah, well, and Brentford have just got one, so if they get another one, then United are in Europe.
And I mean, De Bruyne only scored directly from a corner.
They're just taking pot shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone says, excited for Euro 2024 in 3 weeks. My first was Euro 88. Van Basten, Hullet, Rijkaard, the three AC Milan players won it against the Soviet Union in the final when Munich. Gareth says, fuck, is it that soon?
Yeah, we're covering every single
Every
game.
match. We're going to be in
Be
the
here.
studio, dying
Be
of
here.
heat exhaustion, but we
Yes.
will be here.
England's
Every
year,
match.
our year. Every game, England's win. Yeah, great time.
Every match. Unless we die.
Even Czech Republic versus whoever.
That's the prize.
We're watching it.
Hopefully we'll have a few guests.
Yes, hopefully.
Hopefully it'll be a good time. Gary says, barely a break between domestic season and Euros. Yeah, there can't be anymore, really. Nick, that's just waste for a European place when Man United qualify. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, we want all
Kanji
you
and on
guys
goal,
turning up at the
Haaland. He
Euros.
misses. Yeah, you better be here.
We are front runners. We are leaders.
But yeah. And then, of course, well, the next season starts a month after the Euros ends.
Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff.
I think it's 14th of August, isn't it? Yeah, so it says group stage is the best, 3 matches a day. That's
Yeah.
So we're going to be covering all of them. It'll be Harry and Ed for the early kickoff.
Me at 2, him
I'll
at
be at
5,
5.
both of us at 8.
Some days we'll switch it around because I've got days off and stuff. But yeah, that will be the general gist of it.
It's a brilliant summer of football. I can't wait.
And obviously, if there's like an England game, we'll probably both be on 5, and then I'll come back out here at 8 and watch Serbia, Czechia.
Yeah.
Keep my eyes open with like cocktail sticks. Riveting. Anyway, City corner now. But yeah, I love the Euros. Love international football.
Yeah.
The last tournament we did a game. Well, the first Euros we covered, 2020. In 2021, we
Felt so many
did
emotions.
a few different games, and then obviously in the World Cup in Qatar, we covered a game per day. Now we're going to ramp it up.
Yeah.
Every match. Ramping up a bit. But yeah, that is an exciting time.
I'd love
So
to
obviously
go back to
for
the Euros.
World Cup 2026, and we ramp it up again, we play it every game.
We
Get
go
us on the
to it.
plane. What's at every match?
Yeah.
Oh, a bit difficult.
No, we're there.
We got to fly.
Walk around
across.
in America for a bit. But honestly,
We've got to
take
break
me
the
back
speed
to
of
2020
sound.
Euros. what I'd do to change that
Nah,
result.
because we lost that one. We're going to win
What
this
I'd
one.
do to change that final result. Honestly, I know people say this, but like, if I like had one thing I could do, like, when would you go back in time and change something? I'd go back to that day and make it 1-0 England.
Ooh, I would probably...
Because I remember that feeling when Luke Shaw scored was absolutely incredible.
I'd probably like stop something awful happening, but nice that you want to win the Euro.
I'll take 3, right? I'll stop COVID. I'll
Make stop COVID.
I'll make England the Euros.
Sorry. How do you think you're going to stop COVID?
I
then?
don't know. I don't want
That's
to get, I don't
good.
want to get cancelled.
Palace, well, as pointing out, have the 8th highest goal difference in the league.
They are just. I don't know what's going on.
Ollie Glass and Seagull Army.
Oi,
No. Oi.
We should
Ollie Glass and
watch
Seagull
them.
Army. What do you mean you'll go watch them?
I don't know. Just go watch Palace play.
Love. I don't think that's that easy. We don't have season tickets.
It's on the roof.
Yes, great
I
idea.
do that
Just
thing where
Van
you take a
says,
ladder into somewhere, you can just get in. I'll just go.
if you have a high vis vest and a ladder, just walk in.
I pretend I'm fixing the roof.
Just Masters, good stream. Nice. See you next time, my friends. See you around, Chelsea fan. Remember, we are live on Wednesday for the Europa League final. We're live the Wednesday after for the Conference League final, and we're live for the Champions League final as well. We won't be covering the FA Cup final because one, it clashes with our other channel where we will be covering the Women's Champions League final. But also, I don't care about the FA Cup final at the moment because it's a Manchester derby. And it's on BBC, so there's not really much point in us streaming it. But we will be back. We'll be doing all the continental finals and, of course, the Women's Champions League final as well.
They'll win it, and as we said,
Out
they'll
schedule.
go, oh, yippee, we've got another trophy.
And then we've got a week where we've got internationals for both the England men's and women's teams, and then it's the Euros. So we've got
my
a
God.
packed schedule up for the next 2 months, really.
When's the squad announcement? Can we go live for it? Can I go live for it?
If you want, I can find out.
When is this? Yeah, when are the scores? Because if France have announced theirs, when do we announce ours?
We're doing it on Tuesday, the 21st of May.
On Tuesday.
Yes.
England's squad announcement's on Tuesday. Oh my God.
I don't know when. And I don't know why.
Is it like the preliminary squad? Not the. It was the one
Oh,
that's
yeah.
cut down, right? Yeah.
Yeah, countries have to name a larger preliminary list, and England boss Gareth Southgate set to name his on Tuesday, the 21st of May. The lists for the tournament must be out on June the 7th.
Okay. Frigate City then.
So after the international friendlies, obviously.
18 to go here.
And Southgate's had a chance to boot all the midfielders and the balls, and then go, well, we've got to play John Ensign now. It's the only option. We cut the training. It's just 2-footed everyone.
Hendo said to me, you know.
But yeah.
De Bruyne over a free kick.
Gary said Newcastle have a penis and then correct himself the penalty.
Yes, the 11 players of Newcastle do, in fact,
Well,
have a penis.
Let's not assume. It's 2024, Harry. I don't know what's in Fabian Schär's boxers.
Does Dan Burn have a penis?
Yes. I doesn't have a finger, does he?
Oh,
So you never know. Never know these
buts
things.
and maybes. Foden! No, into side netting.
I'd forgotten they'd scored a third as well, by the way. I just looked at the score and I was like, hang on, it's 3-1. Newcastle 4-2 up, they've scored that penis. Penalty, sorry. Oh, the penalty got cancelled and they just scored anyway.
Oh,
Guimaraes goal. All got fouled. VAR went, nah, it didn't. And then Guimaraes just went and slapped one in.
fair enough.
Anyway, Nick says there won't be any surprises from Gareth. How many Crystal Palace players should be in the England squad?
1.
Only? Which one?
Eze.
Right, all the others.
Mitchell?
Mitchell?
No.
Wharton?
Yes.
He's
2.
our best defensive midfielder, in my opinion. Other than Rice, obviously.
2. Gurhey? No.
No Gurhey?
No.
Why not?
I don't think so.
We're taking Maguire, but no Gurhey.
Yeah.
Ward.
You know
Klein.
what, right? We've had a lot of unfit right backs this year. One man who hasn't been unfit is Joel Ward. Wardy on the plane. Here we go.
Anyway. Record is 54, 53. I mean, Gareth's flipping out. What was that? Well, when was that? Sorry. Oh, Nick Nat's talking about things. Oh, yeah, sorry. I haven't read the whole conversation, so I'm
From the
confused.
final day, I see. Right, so we've got 35. We are 18 away from breaking the record. Scores and goals, people.
So, who's playing Sheffield United? Tottenham. Get a move on.
Yeah. Did you look it up, or do you know these facts off the top of your head?
I like to think that's just an encyclopedia for final day goal stats.
And there's a yellow card here heading the way of Edson Alvarez.
He's also changed his name.
Yeah, he has. No. Brought down Bernardo Silva. 15 to go. Was it foul? Yes. Let's have another look here. No.
No, he
kept the ball.
capitulated.
Yeah.
Anywho. Did Letizia score that round? Probably. Well, I've got a theory that he didn't. Ryan Schumann to the stream says, hi, full stop. Good to see you, Ryan.
Hello, mate.
Classic hi, full stop. Nick says, Google is my friend. Oh, that's good. Yeah. I'm sure it's actually a shame. I thought it was an encyclopedia.
Yeah.
I like all the high full stops. If you're tuning in, stick in a
Everyone
lowercase
put a
high full stop. I'm getting involved in this.
I'm getting involved in it too. I pressed the wrong button.
I forgot I was a member because someone gave
yeah.
me a membership.
Hi, guys. Well done. Well, welcome, everybody. Hi. Maybe that telephone company will give us a brand deal.
Great. If they're paying us, I'd sponsor anything. There you go. If you're a business out there, if you're not tempted by that offer, I don't know what's going to tempt you. Gary says Letizia is a goal scoring genius, but off the pitch he's a raving lunatic
Honestly,
these days.
It
Says, yeah, I know, he's lost the plot a bit. I think it's just one of like classic old person locked inside and during COVID with access to the internet. He's watched too much stuff. Like, I don't know. COVID just sent everyone mad.
I know a few conspiracy theorists, and he's like them.
Yeah. I think, yeah. I don't think conspiracy theorists are wrong in totality. I think that's wrong to say.
Is.
Well, yeah. Exactly.
The Earth's flat. Come
Well, exactly. And Letizia they're going to microchip us with the vaccine. My biggest question is why?
I'm being tracked.
Why do they want to know where Letizia is? He's in Wetherspoons. Get him.
Locked down in Wetherspoons. Letitia's in the house.
Anyway. In danger of this turning political, I feel we should change it up. I haven't got... Usually for final day streams, in the past we'd go live an hour early, but it's too hot for that this year. And I'd have like a list of topics ready, and we'd try and talk about those. I like when we try and come up with questions on the top of our heads and stuff.
Yeah, right, everyone else then, you guys are going to do us content creation, we get our support to do it.
Yeah. That's how you do it, isn't
questions. In terms of like topics, not like trivia.
Or just, yeah.
Question 1. No.
Start a quiz.
Yeah. Nick,
I would love to do
Yellowstone,
that's the
Brian,
conversation.
everyone else. I
would like to start doing like a quiz show type thing. We need guests. The problem is we don't live in London. If we did, probably all right. Everyone that's anyone in YouTube is in London.
Could I sit in a room with Fogden for half an hour just to get the content?
Yes, but we're not in London. So I don't know anyone around here that wants to come on a game show.
I do.
You?
My nan.
Yeah, I don't think our nan coming on is going to be a great episode.
Bernardo Silva running.
But I'd love to do things like that. We're also just out of the production
Cresswell,
budget.
that is dreadful from Bernardo Silva.
Everyone loves a quiz. Exactly, Nick Nack. Exactly. Pub quiz style type stuff. Awesome.
Streams lab, I get a pain in the arse.
Yeah. Here's a question for all you guys, and then 5 minutes later you finally answer.
Yeah, and also I think people could Google it and things you just can't do it properly.
Yeah, exactly. No shots from West Ham in the second half. Yeah, I saw that graphic as well, Nick Nack. It's abysmal, really.
Disgusting.
Moyes Bowl. And then you got something I want to talk about. Merson's quote the other day, how West Ham fans are ungrateful and that they should never have sacked Moyes.
I could have won that Conference League with them.
Well, I disagree with that, but I do think it was the right time for him to go.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I don't think he's a top level Premier League manager anymore. I don't think Julian Lopetegui is a very good appointment, as I've stated previously. I'm prepared to be proven wrong, but all right, James Blunt. But yeah, I think it'll be. I don't know. Oh, and also Moyes, where next?
The old people's home.
Wolves, if they suck O'Neill.
What a prem job.
Oh, Celtic. No, they're doing all right, aren't they? He's a Celtic boy, though, and I think you played there.
Anyone know why Santa presents the Scottish League trophy every year?
Sorry?
Some bloke dressed like Santa presents the the Scottish League title trophy every year?
No idea. Guys, there's another City title just feels so boring, not even worth celebrating anymore. Yeah, I agree. Just don't care. It's about City. But that's the thing, isn't it? As a rival, like if United, Tottenham, Liverpool, Arsenal win the league, like I'm pissed off as a Chelsea fan. If City win it, genuinely don't care.
Yeah.
I just oh well done. They won it again. But because there's just no real rivalry there. Like United, I'm sure are a bit pissed off. Arsenal will be upset because they haven't won
West
it.
Ham are bringing on George Murphy.
Yeah, I think United fans have given up on football anyway at this point.
If Tottenham won the league, I don't think I could cope with that.
No, exactly.
I can't live
No
on a
one
planet
cares
where
about
Tottenham win
City.
the league.
Even Arsenal wouldn't have been great. But yeah, no, Tottenham's awful. Anyway, Moyes where next, who cares? Fair enough. Thanks, Nick Nack, for indulging the conversation. I think Championship, potentially. I could see him doing the Neil Warnock thing if he just pops up. He's in like the 6th year now, isn't he? Did you see that?
Warnock?
He's at Torquay United. He wants to get back into the football league. I was like,
Giving Russell Martin Chinese menus on Sky.
that is the most Warnock thing I've ever seen. But
Birmingham?
for Moyes,
Yeah.
in League One, Christ no, surely.
Hull? That'd be hilarious.
Could he go Continental?
Where? He couldn't cope in anywhere else.
Inter.
No. He couldn't cope.
Serie A's famed for its.
He won't go
quite
Saudi or
rightly,
Qatar.
famed for its defensive football. Moyes would go over there and just make sure that stereotype is reinforced. Oh, Ducky lashes one to the side net. He does take a deflection. He won't want to manage in the Championship because Moyes have an elevated opinion of himself. Yeah, fair enough. That's the thing. I just don't know where he goes now because if he's hit the top, hasn't he? Really?
Yeah.
Like, he's not getting a job in the top 7.
It's the peak of his career.
Like, he had a chance at United and he fluffed that. I don't really see what happens now. There's no career progression, but he's not. He's only like 60, isn't he? Over that, I want to say. Let's find out.
63.
63.
I'm going 63.
61.
Oh, come on.
So yeah, I guess he could just stop.
Scotland, maybe. I couldn't even tell you who the Scotland manager is, but they've just got to the Euros, so.
Yeah, but they've just relied on McTominay. I don't know how they've done that.
It's that bloke with a beard, isn't it?
Well, that's narrowed it down. I thought manager with a beard.
Chris? Clark.
Scott.
Clark.
Chris Clark? I don't think
I
that's
know his
right.
name's Chris, but he's Clark, I think.
Clark.
Mr. Clark. Oh, Paqueta
Oh,
has just found De
naturally.
Bruyne.
Steve Clark.
Steve Clark.
He's 60, same and Moyes. Maybe they do as a double act.
Tino United, Rasmus Højlund.
Yeah, I did see that. I just didn't want to talk about it. just don't want to indulge that.
Moves to Rangers. But he's a Celtic lad, isn't he?
That's what I think he's a Celtic boy. But yeah.
I think he's...
Gary says, wouldn't mind seeing that. Not sure if Moyes has any Scottish League allegiance to those. Rangers is a divisive club. I think Moyes is a Celtic boy,
man.
but I will have a look.
De Bruyne's got a free kick.
He did manage Real Sociedad as well, by the way. That was a job after United.
I forgot about that.
Then Sunderland, then West Ham for a year, then West Ham again for 5 years. He's been there a while.
Wow. What, this thing?
Yeah, since 2019.
Wow. I am... Oh, Kanji heads wide.
But could he go abroad again?
No.
PSG.
Yes. David
If they get rid of
comes out.
Enrique, they've just completely undoing all the positive work they've done this season. Just brought in from De Bruyne. Shame Haaland just really doesn't fancy scoring today. Moyes well in Real Sociedad, didn't he? Maybe another Spanish adventure is right for Moyes. Yeah, maybe. Barcelona? No, Xavi's staying now, isn't he?
No, apparently not.
What do you mean, apparently not?
Laporte wants to sack him.
He's an idiot.
Honestly.
Why would you want to sack him?
I don't know.
He's got no... When is someone going to tell Laporte he hasn't got any money? He seems to think this is a FIFA. And I'll just go buy 500 FIFA
Right,
points.
let's move that slider along.
Yeah. There we go, we've got loads of money. If I close my eyes, we're rich. What's he doing?
De Bruyne.
Here's Bernardo Silva. Why do top team want a manager who's 17th in the form table? Oh, we're talking about Brighton.
Right, hang on. Yeah. Oh, because United scored.
Because
second.
Brighton have got no players, Nick. So they'll look at the...
De Zerbi's a very, very good manager.
De Zerbi's a very good manager. Like, I love his tactical principles.
Jeremy Dockie's just put Supal and Kudus on their asses.
Doku, Phillips inside.
Got a penalty.
Knick-knack, mate. I hate what you've just said. I hate everything about it. Moyes has been better than De Zerbi this season.
Oh,
that is
no.
an awful opinion. Get out. Get out. He hasn't.
Oh, God.
Quite simply, Moyes' tactics have been tragic, and he's relied on individual quality from Kudus, Bowen, Paqueta, at times Antonio, when he's not been on podcasts, to bail him out. They've played awful, as proven today.
Here comes Danny Ings.
And because they would have lost this 3-1 if it weren't for Kudus, and they probably would have conceded more if it weren't for Paqueta, for Areola.
And also, Arsenal. Arsenal are an absolute joke.
There we go. But yeah, De Zerbi has had no Mitoma all season, who is their best player. They lost Caicedo and McAllister, who were their best players last season. So, and they replaced those players with Mahmoud Dahoud, who's already left, I think, and Carlos Baleba, who's never played Premier League football. Where is he, by the way? Because he's not shown up second half. Did they just get rid of him? I think he went out on loan, didn't he? Where you gone, Mahmoud?
I don't know.
And he's not in the Brighton squad.
No, he's left. He's had enough. Mahmoud Dahoud. Well,
he's on loan at Stuttgart.
Wow.
They'll probably sign him permanently and he'll play Champions League football.
Well,
this season.
Man City are 4 minutes away from another Premier League title.
But yeah, personally, De Zerbi at Bayern. Yeah, we'll talk about City in a moment when they've actually picked it up. De Zerbi at Bayern would work, I think, because Bayern are a good team and De Zerbi's a bloody good manager.
Fair enough.
And if Bayern can have a bit of security, if Delta Meccano can stop getting sent off every game,
Kim Min-jae can defend.
they've got to move on from players like Müller. He's a wonderful footballer. Love Thomas Müller, but they need to move on. They probably sign Mitoma, and that will work very well.
Oh
wow!
No. Souček's just punched in the
Down
goal.
scored. Did he punch you?
Oh, it does count. Is it in?
I don't think you just went
Is
bang, volleyball style.
Here's a goal. Well, if Arsenal...
This one just allowed you to a foul, according to this. So don't really have to worry about that. VAR's about to check. I don't know what's going to happen.
It looked like handball to me. Yeah. he doesn't serve it into the goal. That's why they have VAR, because the referees missed that.
The audacity to celebrate that.
Go! Oh, that's brilliant. Brilliant. I mean, John Brooks, have a look in the mirror, mate. How have you missed that?
Get your glasses out. Christ. Arsenal scored for it. First time got two. We might have had the greatest remontada in the history of the Premier League.
Now we're sitting here going, oh my god, West Ham need one goal.
Hilarious after this whole season. Last season, Brighton finished 22 points above West Ham. Yeah, and Brighton's squad is completely different. They've lost all their best players. They don't even have their goalkeeper from last season. I don't think Verbruggen's bad, or Steele, but I don't know why they're rotating goalkeepers, to be honest. Who else they lost? Colwell, he was there last season, wasn't he?
Yeah.
It's another one. Or was he?
No.
No, that season before.
That's silly.
Havertz has scored and Odegaard gave it to him.
But Arsenal
Well done, Arsenal.
have won, but it's not going to be enough.
I was going to say. But it doesn't really matter. Anyway. Wow, it's almost the end of the Premier League season.
It's emotional. Jurgen Klopp.
What might be our last season covering the Premier League.
Yeah,
Live,
Klopp,
at least.
a minute away from his final game at Liverpool. Luton, their final minutes in the Premier League, alongside Burnley and Sheffield United.
Yeah.
Another Premier League title for City. Aston Villa might be getting smacked 5-0, but they've confirmed Champions League. Chelsea have recovered to 6th.
Almost 3-2 to Yellowstone. Yeah, that would have been good, wouldn't it?
Wow. What a season.
Minute to go.
What a year.
Yeah.
Over and out for the Premier League then.
What on earth has happened here? Why are Everton's open?
Odegaard
Odegaard miskicked it towards... Odegaard really just scored.
Well, Arsenal have done what they can.
Ultimately, throughout the season, they haven't done it.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, they've been fantastic.
Oh.
They're to be in the position they are. Brilliant job. The guy guys are watching on. His son needs a haircut. But, yeah, Foden off, Mato, Kovacic on. But, yeah, I think that City done very well this season. Been incredible. Arsenal have also done very well. Have also been incredible. Ultimately, at the end of the day, Arsenal just dropped 2 points that City didn't.
Yeah. 100%. 5 minutes to go.
They can complain about other teams not giving the fight to City in certain games, but they didn't. They went to the Etihad and played for a point, and they got that point. Fair play, but that's the difference. If they'd won that match, they'd be Premier League champions. But they played for a point. They played it safe. I get it, but that's what they did. They dropped points as well, didn't they? When was it? Fairly recently. But yeah. Even Havertz going to miss from there. She's been really good this season. Kai Havertz. Yeah, so it says Havertz is like an NFL kicker, comes in to take the penalties. I think a lot of his tactical contributions at Arsenal shape is very undervalued by the average fan. But I think he's a really quality footballer. We've always known that since his Leverkusen days. It never worked for him at Chelsea, but Chelsea never played him in his position.
He won Chelsea Champions League.
Well, yeah, exactly. Had that big moment. Yeah, it says most teams are beat before they even take to the field versus City. Yeah, exactly.
So that could change next year with the teams coming through. Could we see the likes of Palace and Bournemouth be able to take points off City?
We do, but then we don't, like... Arsenal, Liverpool didn't.
I mean, Arsenal are boring when they play City.
And the problem is those same teams take points off Arsenal.
Yeah.
And so... It's just, can anyone find a bit more consistency, or will City let their foot off the gas for once? Like 91 points this season, it's freakishly good. Arsenal will finish on 89. Last season, that'd have been level with Man City.
Yeah, I mean, what? Out of 100
points.
114?
The season before, they'd have been third, but that was ultra competitive. They'd have won it in 2020-21. They'd have come second to Liverpool, but Liverpool were ridiculous in the COVID year. 99 points in that year.
What's the most you can get? 116.
How have we done?
338.
Yeah.
Yeah. 114, sorry, 114. Yeah.
I'm going to do some maths.
Okay, you do maths then.
114. There you
go. Well, Foden gets player of the match. He's my player of the match. He was brilliant today. City have done the job. They've done what was needed, as they always do.
Up to 37 goals now, says Nick Noak. Well, unless we have a crazy stoppage time period, I think that is... We're not going to get the record. But yeah, Nick Noak says, which means 1 goal every 3 minutes on Match of the Day. Actually, there was 53 goals. There'd be no analysis. Perfect.
Danny Ings on the charge.
No, I do like the analysis. I don't watch Match of the Day, but I did when I watched it. I did like the analysis part. But yeah,
Unless it was Jermaine Genius.
I do feel like most of it who watch Match of the Day though watch it just for the goals.
Oh yeah.
I remember whenever like people I know would watch it, they would either watch it on demand so they can skip through the talky bits.
My thing was,
so why don't they just make it?
The problem is social media has removed the point of it. Because the whole point of it was that, like, if you admit the 3 o'clock kickoffs, you could watch the goals. Whereas now, after the game, I can go onto YouTube and search up whatever goals I want to watch.
It will be
when I was younger, it'd be great. Wake up on a Sunday morning, 7 a.m, chuck it on, watch it.
And for like people of the older generation, like my dad's generation, they'll still watch it, but that will become, 20 years time, that will be completely obsolete.
Yeah.
Because my granddad probably still watches it. He doesn't have Sky, but soon everyone will either have a dodgy Fire Stick or has Sky. So it will become obsolete. Liverpool wins in his final match as Liverpool manager. Pep Lijnders wins in his final match as assistant manager.
Yeah, that's good.
Of course, heading off to Red Bull Salzburg. Yeah. They're not in the league this season, are they?
I don't know.
I think it was Linz Athletic.
But look at this, I'm sorry. They're out with a title City. None of their usually the players are on the line, ready to run on and sprint on.
I don't give it to them.
No, they don't care.
Well, Oh, stone grass, sorry, not.
Oh, the fans
not
are.
LSK. Fans are already on the pitch.
The fans are already on the pitch. The players aren't. Look, the players aren't getting ready to run on.
Oh, they've won it before, and then they'll win it again.
And
The
now,
City-
now the refs refusing to play the game until they will get back.
Well, yeah, because they're on the pitch. That's what bunch of idiots. That's what the City players are saying. Get off the pitch, you idiots. They're not. They're not.
They're so honestly.
What they do? You're a bunch of weapons. The thing is, the game won't finish. What if they refuse to finish the game?
Kick them out of the league. Kick them out of the league. Out
Is the ref happy to play?
Yeah.
Looks like it.
Unless the players will go down the tunnel is the thing.
No, they're going to play with just a bunch of people stood in this corner. Look.
They really need to pitch invade.
There we
They
go.
wanna run.
Now they've won it. Pep doesn't look like he cares. Hang on, all the City players are running to the tunnel. They're getting out of there before they get mauled. What on earth?
What a terrible, terrible title celebration.
It's just City players escaping weirdos.
They've won the league and then they run down the tunnel because the people ran on the pitch.
Imagine this happening in the Football League.
Oh, not that one. That one. That is rubbish.
Arsenal champions on there for a moment. But yeah, well done the City. Premier League champions for a 5th consecutive year.
Or some people snap through the
4th
screen.
consecutive year.
That is crap.
Deduct them 3 points, isn't it? Like, yeah, get
That
them
is
out.
absolute crap. They can't celebrate the title because they'll have to run down the tunnel to get away from the fans. That is so bad.
Oh, La Liga's foundation just kicked off, so my phone doesn't work now.
That is
All the
so bad.
notifications. But yeah, that is a boring way for the Premier League season.
Well, that's the season done.
City will party.
I mean, Nick, that's back. I mean, thank you very much, mate, for the
Thing is, the point of running on the pitch is to like celebrate the players. But the players just go and stand behind a load of police.
And
They're a bunch of people still on the pitch going, "Yay!"
And then they're all up pleasing the pitch. What's worse about this one is no one's really actually ran on. Look,
Because it's
you look around the ground, no one's really ran on, and everything just says pleasing the pitch immediately.
It's hilarious. Nick Knack says, thanks for your watch-alongs this season, Harry and Jack. No worries. This may be our last season doing watch-alongs on TFC, which is a sad moment, but with the success of the women's channel and with us getting more busy next year and in the years to
I
come.
mean, the numbers of the views are like
Exactly.
ridiculous.
Like, we haven't seen the kind of growth we wanted this year. Thanks to everyone. No qualms to the people in chat. Thank you guys so much for
That's been
tuning
a
in
great
throughout this
season.
year. And I've still enjoyed doing the watch songs, but it may be our last season. We'll see what the Euros does, and if we come out of it in a really good spot, then maybe we will be doing watch songs next season. So definitely don't say never, but yeah, this will likely be our last Premier League watch along, as we'll focus next season on, because if we don't stream, we can make more videos, and what we've seen is the people really receiving the videos well, and it's going well. But yes, we will certainly be doing the Euros, Nick. So don't worry. So hopefully we'll be covering the Euros. We're doing every game. Every match, 2, 5, 8, throughout the group stage, we'll be there for all of them. Then, of course, every knockout game, every final. If I just didn't do the final, it'd be awful. But yes, we'll be there for every match, so don't fear. We'll be covering the Euros. We've still got 3 European finals to end our club football watch-alongs, and then, of course, the Euros, which I'm very excited for. Gary says, thanks for all the stream, no worries. And yes, we will be back with Premier League content next season. In some form or another, and we will so thankful to you guys. Shout out Nick Nack, shout out Gary, shout out Yellowstone, three that have been very active in chat today. Yeah, of course.
Ryan,
it's gone now, but
full stop.
Yeah,
and everyone else who doesn't say things and just sits there.
And thanks for sorts, particularly today, because we have seen an increased viewership there, which has been lovely. But Man City are the Premier League champions. Back next season.
3 finals to go and Euros.
Yes. Can't wait for the Euros. So join us for all of that. But that's everything from us for this season. Thank you guys very, very much for watching. And we'll see you next time.